So this episode is going to be quite a long one. So I'm just letting you know in advance. I believe it's over 2 hours. However, I believe this is a very interesting interaction that I'm having with a professing atheist. And also towards the end of our discussion, there was a Christian that came in and we had some discussion as well. But I think it's interesting to watch this video and see the inconsistencies in the naturalistic worldview that an atheist lives in. Or at least they try to live in. It's very inconsistent. And you're going to see that when we get to the topic of morality, how inconsistent the atheist that rejects objective truth, which comes from God, you're going to see that in this video. So it's a long one, but I think it's very a great discussion. And I'm just asking that you watch the video in its entirety and leave some comments and some areas where I could have did better at, or some points you thought I really did well in. I'm open to all critique, and I want to get better at this. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Grab a drink, grab some popcorn, and most importantly, grab your Bibles and enjoy the video. No,
So where do you
absolutely,
want to
man.
start at, bro? I want to give you free reign since I'm the host. I want to make sure that this feels very like neutral here. So I'd
Yeah,
rather,
yeah.
instead of imposing an idea onto you, I'd rather you go ahead and, you could start if you'd like.
No, well, first off, once again, I want to say thank you, first off, for opening up your platform. And I mean, just the last time I was on, you were very respectful and let me speak and things like that. And just, we have different worldviews, however. But I do think just we, as human beings, being rather atheist, agnostic, Catholic, Mormon, whatever it is, we everyone is made in the image of God and due respect. And with that said, I do appreciate for being on. Let me be on. So honestly, to be honest, Don, I kind of I like, because this is a discussion. I kind of just, if you don't mind, I kind of just want to, if you're okay with just kind of telling just a little bit of your history. Like, I kind of want to just get to know you, and if that's
Yeah,
okay.
bro. Yeah, yeah. So I'll give some quick peas, bro. Real quick
Mhm.
peas. Okay. You
Okay.
won. I'm gonna try to.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to get in the mindset that bro was in because I want to get there one day. So here's the peas, or here's the idea.
Okay.
So I was a Christian for I was a Christian. I would say back then 15 years, but if I'm being
Oh,
fair, 11 years,
okay.
right? If I'm being realistic with myself, 11 years
Gotcha. Okay.
felt like I was getting on fire. Your boy used to cry at the youth stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
songs used to get me.
Yeah, I got you,
You
bro.
know, if God is greater, who can never go? All them songs was really doing it for me, right?
Right, right,
Them
right,
songs was
right.
I was loving it. All right, and so then I was like, yo, let me like get into the church, right? So now I'm getting older to the point where now I can become like a youth leader or somebody that is more like on that side of it. So I was like,
Okay.
yeah, why not, right? And at this point, I've read passages individually. I went to Bible school, so I'm already like, I'm kind of getting up on my word. Then I
Mm-hmm.
started, I started actually like reading this whole full stories and trying to
Mm.
be like from an outside perspective to try to grasp what unbelievers think and try to get a bigger angle, right? Bigger picture.
Okay.
So I read the story of Job, and I'm about to make it real quick and light so that we can go back and forth more than just one guy. So I,
Yeah.
I read the story of Job.
Uh-huh.
God unalive children in Job, and I went, yo, ain't no way you're
I didn't
unaliving
hear the
children
first
in
part. I'm
Job.
sorry. What'd you say?
Oh, no worries, no worries. I said, so God unalive children in Job, right?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was sitting there like, there's no way he unalives kids. Like that's just can't I can't accept that. And then even if he gives kids back, it's like that's like you losing Johnny and then you get like Bert and Simpson. And it's like, but where's Johnny at? Johnny ain't come back. Like, can we get Johnny back? So my point
Mm-hmm.
is that and then God's all knowing, right? So God didn't have to do that because he knew what the end result already. So he didn't have to use that as the end result, right? Because he knew it. So the only guy in
Mm-hmm.
this whole situation that didn't know it was Job and was Satan or the devil. So anyway, that was
Right.
the first story that started my deconstruction. Then after that, I just started watching lives while I'm at work and stuff, and atheist
Okay.
lives, Christian lives, and it seemed like the atheists had better like and respectfully, they were like winning a lot of these debates, these conversations, right? And
Gotcha.
I was
Okay.
like, dang, okay, I see what they're saying. Okay, 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 and then now I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. For for sharing that. Because I always find it interesting. When talking to someone that holds to an atheistic worldview, that said they were once, a believer. I just not like because I mean it does it's not it's sad, um, but I like to hear how a person got there, because I think that means a lot, honestly. And then going forward, how to address that person, So basically, you would be an apostate. You would be an apostate. You have committed apostasy.
I'll be honest
That
with you, bro. I don't know what that word means, but
oh
it
no, that's
sounds
fine.
like something I don't want to catch.
No, okay, no, I'm fine. No, so apostasy, it's a biblical word. Apostasy, basically, it means to reject. Basically, it's the Greek word. It comes from the Greek word apostia, and it means to reject.
Sure.
Yeah, it basically means to renounce or yeah, to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
rid of.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I or like in my church, I backslid, and then I just completely got off the mountain of backsliding. You know what I mean?
gotcha. Okay,
If that makes
okay.
sense.
Okay. No, no. Thanks for explaining that. And so I mean, I guess where okay. So with that said, um, I mean, you're the host. Like, where would you like to start? Because I'm going to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. So
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, no worries. Last time we talked, I tried to give you the general idea of the prompt, and so that's kind of what we're going from today. Um, and it's real light again. Like when I talk to people on here, I want to talk to people as humans, and
Yeah.
more than I want to like straight up debate people. Like I'm not really here to really debate yet. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. One
Just
day I'll be able to get in that lot, like, and use all these terminologies. But as of right now, I'm just trying to talk to people and understand people and see
yeah.
like, hey, what do you think? Like, is there something different that you can expose me to? So here's the idea.
Okay.
And if you could just run the keys with me real quick, all the
Okay.
different, and see where we go. So
Okay.
evil exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
It
All right.
does.
Can
Yes.
God prevent evil?
Yes. Yes. He can prevent evil.
All
Yes.
right. All right. So then my next question is, does God know about the evil?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So then my next question, and this is just clarifying stuff. Does
Mm-hmm.
God want to prevent evil?
Does God? Oh, you said does God want to prevent evil?
Yeah.
That was the question. I would say, and I'm trying to answer. I'm just trying to answer it in a way where I can be consistent. So I'm not trying to dodge the question. I just
No, you're good.
want
You're good. No
yeah. As
worries.
far as what God doesn't God I hold to God being sovereign. So God wants nothing. So I would be contradicting myself. Well, it would be a contradiction if God wanted to prevent evil, but knowing about evil, because then that would make him not sovereign if he was not able to prevent it. So I would say that
Yeah.
evil will be, along with death and injustice, in the last day, the final judgment. Everything will be made right. So that's how I answer that question. So far as God wanting, if God wants something, it will come to be. It will happen. So I would answer the question with saying God will rid of all injustice and all evil and all things that's completely other from Him, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
so then I would ask you,
Mm-hmm.
before God made reality,
Mm-hmm.
did God see a reality where evil existed, or was His whole plan to where evil wasn't involved?
From coming from a biblical standpoint, don't have there's no inclination. I'm sorry, not inclination. There's no text to provide and seeing that God, before creating the universe, He looked at possibilities. I mean, from Genesis all the way to Revelation, we have in the text that God created. He created the world and He created how it was going to be. What I will say is the plan of redemption was set before eternity. So it was the plan of redemption was already set in motion way before Adam and Eve fell into sin. If that answers the question, I know that opens up another door, but
Right, right.
I'm just trying to
No
both
worries, no worries.
honor God and answer your questions.
So my question would be like, why is there
Mm-hmm.
evil, right? Because if he's all knowing,
Mm-hmm.
if God is all good, but evil exists,
Mm-hmm.
then either he wants to prevent the evil from existing, he doesn't want evil to exist, but it exists,
Mm-hmm.
or he has a plan for the evil to exist, and thus it exists.
Yes, I would say yes. He
I don't
has a
see another
plan.
option.
No, and that's I think that's Don Dada is smart. Because here's the thing, I'm gonna like with these discussions, many times into people's detriment. I don't think they're being malice, but they end up trying. The Christian ends up trying to get God off the hook, so to speak. Where we see in Scripture, God is never on the hook. He's never in the case. And it's funny you brought up Job. When Job tried to basically cross-examine God, you know the story. We know how it ended. Job put his hand over
Right.
his mouth. So my thing is, evil exists because it was preordained to exist. Now, that last point you had said, could you say that again? Because I think that was very important what you said. That last one.
So I think like to because it was like off the top, right? Because I'm being genuine
Mm-hmm.
here, so I gotta read. I'm gonna end up saying it a different way, but the idea is
Okay. Mm-hmm.
like God made everything, and either he knew evil was gonna exist, and so he wants to and it's part of his plan or something, or
Mm-hmm.
evil somehow came into reality, and he wants to prevent it, or it's not part of his plan. So not part of his plan would be equal to trying to prevent the
Gotcha.
evil.
I got you. No, I
So
think yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
no, go ahead. I was just gonna say. So I don't see another option there. So in my head, I see that as like the only two modes of how God is gonna be.
Yeah. So no, and I think here's the thing. I think that's smart. Far as there can only be because here's the thing. I'm not an open theist, so it's now the open theist might say, well, they will say because God's not all knowing in open theism. So basically, God did not know that this evil was going to come to be.
Right.
Well, that's not a sovereign
Right.
God. So that's not the God of the
Exactly.
Bible. So yeah, I reject that. There is a greater purpose. However, I can give you an example from the text. If you don't, if you don't mind me reading, if that's okay, can I just read you
No,
a?
that's cool. That's cool.
Okay,
I do. After you read, if you could summarize it for
okay,
me and like answer the like, if you could
oh,
like
okay.
directly answer the question, but definitely do your thing, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, what was the question? I'm sorry. Yeah, because I don't want to dodge, and plus viewers are listening. So
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
trust.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're dodging. I want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. At the end of the day, like my mind, when you read that, I know my mind is gonna go to the next thing about whatever we read, and so
Yeah,
I want to
yeah. Uh huh.
like really like kind of put things that way. I'm go okay, cool.
I got you.
That one's settled. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, um, so again, so God God is either doing it because he knows it's gonna occur, and it's part of his plan. Evil's part of his plan, or he's doing it and he doesn't know it's going to occur. But you just said that it can't be that one, right? Because that would be an open theist, right?
Yeah,
So he
God. Yeah,
knows that
yeah.
evil is going to occur. So
Right.
then my question
Absolutely.
would be,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
if so then it would go, does God want to prevent evil? Because he knows it's going to occur, right? So he knows before he makes reality, evil will occur. So then if you
Mm.
say, yeah, he wants to prevent evil, well then don't make reality.
Yeah. No. And
You see
notice
what
I
I'm
didn't
saying?
say. Yeah. No. I give. No. And thank you for that. No. Notice I didn't say he wants to prevent evil. Remember how I answered it in a more robust way because that would be a contradiction. It would be illogical if evil exists, but then he's trying to prevent it. Then he's either doesn't know about the evil or he's not strong enough to prevent it. Now, I will say we see, and we can get into that later, but God does restrain. Man isn't as evil as he could possibly could be. There is restraints. I mean, it could be a lot worse. I know that sounds crazy, but it could be a lot worse
That
because
yeah, that sounds a little crazy.
it really could. It really could. I mean, there's times when we see. I mean, you see in the news and you see in the things where just the depravity level of unrepentant, unregenerate people. But God does restrain. I mean, we see it in the biblical text. There was plenty of times when the Pharisees wanted to kill Jesus before the time. So what is that? That is a restraint, because they wanted to kill him, but they couldn't kill him. So who's restraining it? You see what I'm saying? So that's just one example. But yes, okay. So to answer the question, let's get to the crux of it. Evil exists because it was preordained to exist. However, God does not force evil or make evil, if that makes sense.
So to understand what you're saying
Yeah.
that it is necessary for the universe to exist with like evil in it, because God only does what's net. Can we agree that God, whatever God has done or does, is like the best thing possible or the most necessary? It's like he ought to do it this way than do it a different way, right?
Yeah,
Or
I
he
want
would
to
have
say
done
yeah.
it the other way.
I would say yeah, not like in the sense that the only way for this to be what it needed to be for God to be happy with it, it was necessary. Like he for instance, like he didn't. It wasn't necessary for him to create man. You would hear from some people, okay, well, God created people because, I mean, I'm not saying you say this, but I've heard this, and I would just say it because I believe in being blunt, being respectful but blunt. You would hear this foolish thing of, well, God was lonely, so He created man. God is He wants nothing. He's all sustainable. The triune God, um, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit were in great, beautiful communion way before humanity was created. So, in the sense, no, it was not necessary. However, God created. Okay, I'm getting all off into that. So, if that's your question, so the world that we live in, God created it the way He wanted to create. It wasn't not out of necessity. I just don't see that in the text. Now, some people might, but I don't see it
Yeah,
in the
well,
text.
so I get what you're saying. I also
Mm,
don't see it like worded like that. But my thought is like
mm.
God is only going to make the best possible outcome, right? Because He's all good and all powerful.
I see what
So
you're
He
saying.
can
Yeah,
make
at
any
the end,
outcome.
yes. At
Like
the end, yes,
order
all
is going to
things.
create order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like order isn't going to create disorder, right? Or like 100% free throw shooter can't miss free throws, right? Like it's just a direct contradiction of nature. You know what I'm saying? Because then he's
I see what
not
you're
a
saying.
100% free throw shooter. He's like 80% free throw shooter.
Right, right, right.
So my thought goes, it has to be the necessary thing, like the thing that, like, if he's gonna create, this is how he's gonna create. Because if he does it any other way, he would have done it the other way. Or else,
I
do
see
you
what
see
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying there?
Yeah. Well, we
Well, I
know.
agree. I don't see it directly in text, but it's kind of part of his nature, like how the Bible describes his nature to be.
And could you explain that part, the nature part? I'm sorry. I just want to.
Yeah. So like the Bible describes God's like the identity of God, right? Like for us, like it tells us that He's all loving. It tells us that He knows the past, present, and future,
Mm-hmm.
right? It
Yeah, he's
tells us that He knows every
omnipotent.
hair on our head before we were born.
Right,
Right. Yeah. So
sovereign.
it tells us He holds all the omnis.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you're all good, all powerful, and all knowing, then you're wouldn't like God generally anything that's all good is all knowing and all powerful knows the outcome of every result. So the
Mm-hmm.
idea is if He's all good, He's gonna pick the all good outcome. The outcome is that is the best. If He depicts anything less than the best outcome, then He isn't all good. Then he's falling short. His creation is now instantly falling short, and you have order producing disorder, right? Which is just contradictory. We don't see that in it's just not a thing, right? Like
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, no, and thanks for elaborating that more. I would say part as God. I say because our language is going to be a little bit different. I would say God ordains things. So what I mean by ordaining things is He works. It talks about in His Word. He works all things after His counsel. So what that means is we let me read the verse real quick. I just want to read this verse and then because this right here gives a little bit of insight into unregenerate man. What I mean by unregenerate man is man that is not you remember with Jesus talking to Nicodemus, someone being born again, someone being saved from the from their bondage of sin. So in Second Corinthians chapter 4, I'm gonna read verse 4. It says, in whose case the God of this world, talking about Satan, has blinded the minds of the unbelieving so that they will not see the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. So right here, notice it didn't say that God is God is the author of evil. He is blinding people. Um, evil is other. It is contrary. You have holiness and then you have evil. It's completely other than God's goodness and what you were talking about, being all loving and things like that. The issue here, Dandade, is what makes the gospel offensive. What makes Christianity hard for an unregenerate person is right here in this text. The mind is blinded. Not just the mind, but the whole conscience is seared. The whole conscience is depraved in the sense where the things of God, it just does not. It is a spiritual blindness. And so just to give a little bit of context to what we're talking about, so that's why there's going to be a disconnect. And these conversations are good because we get a chance to get to the heart of the issue. We get a chance to get to the crux of the issue about why we're talking about evil and we're talking about suffering and we're talking about all these things. But think about it. At the end of the day, Don Dada, if God doesn't exist, what's the point? My question would be for you is why
Well, in your
even
worldview,
yeah.
yes. Yeah, in
Yeah,
your
so
review, I would say right, true. But trust me,
yeah.
like that's why I care about this because to me, if God is real, it's the most important thing it's the most important thing. Everything else comes second. That's
Yes,
my
I
complete,
agree.
and that's why I'm doing these lives as well. On top of what I
Mm,
told you in the past about belief shape our society, it's also that this would be the most important thing. If God is real,
mm,
everything else would be second to God. And I would like obviously He wants us to live our lives, but I'd be close to monkhood. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be close to doing that because what else would matter? Like
yeah,
nothing would honestly, it would all be like, okay, I know for a fact God's real and I can serve Him and go to heaven. Like why would I do anything
right.
anyway? The
Yeah.
thing is with this, what you were saying is God is all knowing. God knows what we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do before we do it. So God knows that the devil's gonna blind the unbeliever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before he makes reality.
Yeah, man was when man
Right.
fell, yeah, everyone was born in sin. Yes, everyone. Except for
Right.
Jesus. Except
Right,
for him.
right.
Yeah.
But before he made reality, right? He knew that. He knew that verse that you read that was the case. That he knew
Mm-hmm.
before he made Satan that and humans that the non-believers will be blinded.
Yes.
Right. But he still chose to make that reality.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right. So you'd
Yes.
have to then say that that is the route that he wants us to take, the non-believers to take. And he's doing it for some kind of greater good. Excuse me, I'll say that to say the reason why I said it is because if he's all knowing, you can only do what he knows, and he started the momentum. He started the ball to roll, right? He didn't have to allow the non-believer to exist, knowing that at the end that they would not believe and would be destined to hell, or that they would be deceived by the devil. Instead, he chose to allow them to exist and be deceived by the devil. So I believe Christians would have to hold to that God is using the devil for some kind of greater purpose, or the non-believer, and in the end, it will be for the glory of God. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if not, then he's being all knowing. It would be a contradiction to him being all knowing.
Yeah,
Again, real
this
quick,
I see
I'm
you
gonna
say,
say
yeah.
the faith.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Christians have free will. So I do want to also say that because that is ties into this conversation right here. This ties into my response to you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, was that a question at the end or what was
No, no. So the end was just me like giving you some background knowledge of my
oh,
angle.
gotcha.
That way it ties into like because what I'm saying is pretty much that is that God is all knowing. So no matter
Mm-hmm.
what you think you're gonna do, you're only gonna do what He knew you were gonna do, and then He rolled the ball to let you go ahead and do it. Do you see what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, I
He
see what
knew
you're saying,
Satan
yeah.
was gonna. Yeah, he knew Satan was gonna fall before he even made Satan,
Absolutely,
but he
yes.
still made Satan. But then he still
Mm-hmm.
made him, right?
Yeah.
So then you would have to say that that's part of God's plan, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then you would have to agree that Satan is evil, right?
Yes, Satan fell, yes. Yeah. Satan
Satan's
fell.
evil, right? Yeah. So you would have to say that you just said that's Satan is part of God's plan. You said
Mm-hmm.
Satan is evil. Evil is part of God's plan, right?
Yeah, evil. Yes, all of it Yeah.
So
Nothing
so
happens
I got one more. So
outside
if
of.
evil's
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so if evil's part of God's plan, then it contradicts God's nature of being all good. Because you can't be all good, but then you have to use evil. Because if he has to use evil, then that has to be the most way to do it, right? But it's not right now. I'm saying there's no good God that's all good that is gonna need to use evil, unless he doesn't have to use it and he uses it, which just shows that he's not all powerful.
I see what you're saying. Oh, so I see you're saying that. So, um, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying since if evil exists and then God uses the evil, then that would make him not all good. Is that if am I correct? What you're saying?
I'm saying
That's.
if God's all knowing, if he holds omnis and
Mm-hmm.
he's using the evil, then one of the omnis is a contradiction of his identity, the all good part. Because
I,
he doesn't being all powerful, he can't
mm-hmm.
be all powerful but need to use evil. Does that make sense?
No,
And if he
he.
doesn't
Yeah, I see what
need
you're
to use
saying. Yeah,
evil, then he's not all good.
he doesn't
Because then
need
he
to
could have did
though.
something else, but he chose the evil.
I see what you're saying. Okay, no, okay, I see what you're saying. No, as far as like neat, it wasn't. It's not as if evil had to exist for God to do things. God has God has chose to display His attributes in multiple ways. Now, evil is just a thing that, along with death, is a thing that will be crushed on the day of judgment. But far as I guess I'm trying to understand that because evil exists, because we both agree evil does exist. How would that? How does that make? Sorry, flesh that out for me again. How does that
Yeah,
make
no worries, no
God?
worries.
Yeah. Uh huh.
So I gave you both the reasons why it disproves God. So originally, and I'm gonna just go to one, but originally I gave
Mm-hmm.
you that it disproves God being all powerful and it disproves God being all good. But if we just pick one, right, and we just go with one first and we flesh it out, God is all good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just agreed that God knew that evil was going to exist and is using evil as part of his all good plan,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Oh well,
So
I'm sorry. So let me back up. Okay. God is using evil. Oh, for His. Okay, I'm trying to follow. All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No
It's
worries.
been a long. I'm
I'm here for
sorry.
a genuine
It's
combo,
been a
bro.
long.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude.
It's been a long
I'd
day.
rather repeat it like 100 times
Okay.
and go even more caveman. Like, and I'm not saying this for you. I'm saying this like,
Yeah.
my whole mindset is like I want to have a genuine conversation. So how I'd rather you understand it than us
Mm-hmm.
just get past it. Because I'm gonna do the same thing, bro. I'm gonna be like, wait, hold up. So
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've been up since 3, bro. So I'm like, okay, hold on. All right, I'm
no worries,
following
no
it. I
worries.
got you. I got you. So okay, okay. I'm sorry. Keep running. Keep going. I'm sorry, cut you off.
So 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 do you agree or disagree with that first part, just so that we could?
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
originally you said you did agree, but I
Yeah.
want to make sure that like after you think about it, as you think about it, I want to know you're
Mm-hmm.
like a genuine, what you think. I don't want it to be like forcing you quickly down a rabbit hole.
I see. Yeah. I mean, oh, okay. So I would say no, and I appreciate that. Yeah, because I'm trying to be fair too. Like, this isn't trying to catch you up in anything. This is we're
Yeah,
talking.
same. That's why
No.
exactly, bro.
Yeah, we have to both hold to, and which we do. And as the Christian, I have to hold to evil exists for the simple fact of what happened. Excuse me. What took place in the redemption of God's people was completely evil. What Pontius Pilate did, what King Herod did, what the Jews did was evil. So it was as it makes me think about Joseph, what he said to his brothers. What you meant for evil, God meant for good. So here's the thing: does God allow evil? Is to in the end result, God's goodness can come from it? Absolutely. So yeah. So I cannot say that because I can't contradict what the Word of God's saying. Um, so yeah, so that answers your question. Yes. So God, He allows evil. He used through the means through evil to bring about His all good purpose at the end. Here's the thing: in real time, a lot of times we just don't understand it or see it. We may not on this
Right.
side of heaven, but okay, go what you were
But
saying. Mm-hmm.
could he prevent it though?
Could He like what evil altogether?
Yeah.
If that was His will, yeah. I mean, Adam and Eve didn't have to fall. If He did not want Adam and Eve to fall, they wouldn't have fell.
So they fell because that was part of his plan.
They it was ordained for them to fall, but they are responsible for the choices that they made. So yeah, if that so God is not just because something that was ordained doesn't mean that they were forced. They made choices.
So I disagree with that because if God is all knowing, He would
Hmm.
know what we would do if we were tested, and like therefore there's no need to test us.
Well, okay, you reject God ordaining things.
I reject the idea that Christians hold free will in general. That God is preordaining everything to occur, and only thing that you can do is what is already occurring, what He already knows is going to occur.
But how does that make so what does that put that makes God wrong for him being the
Hmm.
creator and the author of what he's because he's creator. So
Because of
that how
evil, it makes him
so
wrong because of suffering.
so
Children
okay.
being SA, he doesn't have to have all good. Doesn't need children to be SA to teach a lesson to us and show us what all good is, or to give us what he's saying is free will when it's not, because he knows the answer. He knows the end result of the test.
I say, well, I don't hold to this autonomous free will like some Christians do. No, you're not going to hear me argue for, well, it had to be this because, no, I reject that. But I think it's highly unbiblical. I believe man does have a will, but they are not autonomous. God and man can't be sovereign. So I think, you're going to deal with some Christians that are going to argue from that, more from a philosophical, biblical viewpoint. Me, I'm not. In the text, what we see is I believe in compatibilism. So yes, or thing everything has ordained. I mean, the redemption story, like I said, the redemption story was set in place before the earth began. So
Right.
with that, so there's no way around it. I mean, some will try to argue around it, but you can't.
Right.
But
I
that
agree.
does not. But that does not negate man making choices.
So I think there's an illusion of choice, but there is no true free will. So if God knows you're going to pick door A before He makes you, can you pick door B once He makes you?
Well, God doesn't make you do anything.
No, I'm
That's the
saying make
difference.
you
Yeah.
as in like creates you though. When God
Oh,
creates you,
yeah. You had
before
no
He
choice in
creates you,
that. Yeah.
right? And so even if you like you go, maybe B, maybe A, maybe B, and you go, I'm about to touch
There
B, and
is.
then you go to A real quick.
Yeah.
God knew
There
you
is
were
no
still
B
gonna
or
pick A,
C. Yeah. Here's the thing. When
right?
I'm
Because
arguing,
God,
yeah, yeah. There is no
right. So
B
my point
C.
is,
Yeah.
right. So my point is, Adam and Eve, and this is like I'm using multiple analogies here to try to represent the main point, the original point. But
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Eve couldn't do anything but sin and allow sin to enter the world. So they couldn't, because that was God's plan. So there was nothing else to do but God's plan to enact, which was evil, a plan for evil to occur,
So who's
right?
at
And that would
fault?
disprove God being all good.
So wait. So who's at fault?
God is at fault, or He holds responsibility.
Okay.
I'm
So
not
this
saying the
comes.
humans don't hold responsibility.
Why not?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I would say the humans hold a level of responsibility because they are like agents, right? So
Mm-hmm.
individual, like it's still an agent acting something out. It's almost like if the drone goes, if a pew pew goes and unalives people, that
Mm-hmm.
pew pew, like it's a tool, and the person behind it is the one that's responsible. But that pew pew holds a certain level of responsibility as well, and that's why there should be certain like laws in place. And I'm down for the amendments all the way, bro. I'm in
So
Florida, so I'm down for the amendments.
I got you. So I see
But
what you're saying. So
it's
this,
just an
no, I
analogy.
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And yeah, I believe in, I like my gun. So yeah, I'm with you. So this is an authority issue. This what it comes down to. That's why I like having these conversations. So, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, so, um, do do you have a better plan than what God has already presented?
Yes.
Okay, what's that plan? Wait. No, wait.
So
Back up before you. Hold on. I'm sorry. Back up before you even answer
go
that.
ahead. Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No,
No
before you
worries.
even. So this comes down to an authority issue. You know better than God, basically, right?
So it's not an authority issue. It's that there's a true contradiction in God's identity, and that's why I can't believe it. Not just because God's wrong for allowing kids to have SA. It's because evil God can't use evil as his all part of his all good plan and still call his plan all good. It's a contradiction in the plan, in his nature.
But here's the thing. That's not an attribute. Evil is not a part of God's attribute. I think the issue is you're
That's why
making
it's a contradiction in God's nature.
how is it a contradiction when it's
Because God's
not?
nature is all.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead, brother.
No. If the attributes of God is love and righteousness, he can do no other than that. Would you agree?
Right, exactly.
Okay,
That's
so
the
then,
problem, and that's where the contradiction is.
but there's no contradiction
But he
because
did other
God.
than that.
So okay,
He
so
did, and we agree that he did.
so what happened to Jesus was evil. Was it evil?
Yeah, probably.
Why? Well, no. Which one? Which one?
Innocent suffering. Innocent suffering. Anytime innocent suffers, it's an act of evil.
But what came from that being ordained?
Like what came so like salvation is what you're gonna say, but he had to use evil to enact it. And you just agreed that he doesn't he can't he's sovereign in him being all good, all loving, or the words that you used, right? So he can't be sovereign in those, but then also enact those same things.
Well, how can he not? If he's wait, how can he not be sovereign?
So
Where did he
so if
lose
a
his
king
sovereignty?
yeah, so if a king is all good, an all good king, right? He only does good for people. The king then can't choose to have certain people suffer so that there's a greater good at the end, because now he's not all good to all people. Now there's people that he's allowing to suffer for the greater good of others, right? So if the king is all good, he says I'm an all good guy, but then he picks 20 people to go into the fields and be unalive from working so hard, and he knows as a fact they're going to be unalived, and he knows that that's an evil thing because these are children, not just people. These are like little kids. And then yeah, sure, the whole village got fed or the whole kingdom got fed, but he chose to do an evil act in the process of the good, and it would say, then he can't be all good and still say I'm an all good king while enacting an evil act on his people.
So yeah, so this comes down to okay. So you know better than God. That's basically what you're saying.
No,
Like
I'm
you,
saying it shows a contradiction in his nature, because like I said, the king is all good, but then the king does evil. The king can't be all good, but then order evil to occur. That directly contradicts the nature of the king being all good. It's not that I think that the king is wrong for doing the evil. It's that,
well, he would be
which would be my
wrong. No.
position.
Yeah. Well, no. If you would have to be consistent, down, you would have to say
No, I think
that.
he's wrong for it.
Okay.
But I'm not. I'm saying that that's not the angle that I'm taking here with you. Like that would be like a
Okay.
separate. That would be like appeal to emotion, which doesn't really matter, right? Because that'd be my subjective opinion. My point is, I do think it's also wrong. I think it's also a bad thing. Like God is. That's why I wouldn't worship that type of God. It would have to be an all good God. But again, it's because the king is saying he's all good, but then enacting some kind of evil for some kind of greater good later. So he's ordering an evil to occur, which means he can't be all good and order an evil. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
contradiction of evil and good, right? They
I see what
can't
you're saying.
you can't be good but then be evil or use evil.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Because we're talking about because God's character is on the line here. So if you don't mind, I want to. Can we? We're still dealing with evil, but can I ask you a few questions, if that's okay?
Sure, of course. Yeah, of course, bro.
So have you ever done anything evil?
Um, no, I don't. No, I haven't.
No. Okay.
Um,
So
I guess I've unalived like a few fishes and things that like hunting wise. I've done hunting, and I would say to a subjective mind, certain people can perceive that as evil, but in my head, no.
okay. So yeah, I want to deal with objective. So is lying a
So
sin?
no, I didn't objectively do something that's like evil.
Is lying a sin?
And so, so you're asking me personally, right? So now I'm not holding to your worldview, right? At this when you ask me if I've done
Okay.
anything
So
evil.
yeah. So what's wrong in because this comes down to you and I. So have you broken any laws?
Oh yeah, I have like one law.
Okay, you broke in law. So um have you ever stole something? I'm not trying to incriminate you. I'm just you don't got to give
No,
time
I
date.
know this. I know the
Yeah,
Christian. I got this one, bro. No worries.
yeah.
I know this like um
No, this isn't the
as a
right comfort
kid.
thing. I just want to go. I'm going somewhere with this. Yeah, this not
Yeah,
just as
dude.
a
But
kid.
also just
Yeah.
I am down. I am down to run
Mm-hmm.
through the ideas. So as a kid, yes. As an adult, no. So with a frontal cortex developed where I'm making decisions properly and I'm making conscious choices, No. As a kid that isn't conscious of his decisions and what he's really doing, yes.
Oh, wait, one more time. Sorry, one more time.
So the front, you know what the frontal cortex is?
Yes. Oh, I know. Okay, I got you. It hasn't
Yeah,
developed
so I'm
yet. I see
saying
what you're
I'm
saying.
appealing to that. I'm saying that as a kid I didn't have that, right? So I couldn't make proper decisions. So anything I did as a child, in my head at least, and I think in society would be almost invalidated, right? And that's why like kids go to juvie and they get put on lesser, they get put for lesser time and lesser punishment.
I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Okay, so but okay, so you have done things that just far as in society would be deemed as wrong. Would that be fair to say?
No, as a kid, yeah.
So
And
so
I
you
guess
don't.
yeah, I sped like one time and got caught, yeah.
Okay, so um like you said, I mean, I don't see far as like killing fish or things like that. But I mean, but to your standards, you would say that that was wrong, right? To your
So
standards.
innocence reduction, yeah, harm, and so I would say that to a point that fish was innocent, but and I was using it to hunt, so I would say it isn't wrong, but I had to think about that for a sec, so I was really running it
Okay, I see what
in
you're
the
saying.
moment with you, really talking through it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So no, I would say realistically it's not because I was hunting, but if I wasn't hunting and I was just doing it just to unalive animals, then yeah, I would be wrong.
Okay. So have you ever been wronged by someone?
Yeah.
Have you ever wronged someone? Have you personally?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, probably.
Okay. And
Like with petty stuff, but yeah, yeah,
I mean petty stuff or not. I mean, look, I've done
yeah.
things
That's
too.
why.
So
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
so would that be considered evil?
No.
Why not?
Well, what's your definition? What's your standard of evil?
Breaking God's laws. You live in His world,
Yeah,
so
but I
I
don't
would say
hold to his.
doesn't
I don't hold to
matter.
God's. I
I
don't
see what
think
you're
he's
saying.
real, right?
Well, no, doesn't
So
matter.
that'd be like
Well,
internal.
I see what you're saying, but here's that even that but that still doesn't matter for the simple fact of, I mean, you have people saying this person isn't my president, but he's still their president. You know, that's just
Well,
subjective reasoning.
so you would have to prove to me that he's my president, right? To then use those morals, those standards. Does that make sense? Like you'd have to prove the
I
base of
see what
where
you're saying.
you're where you get you work the like the angle that you're able to like judge from, and I mean it's respect, like a respectful
Yeah.
judgment, not
Oh
like
yeah.
a critical mean judgment, but like a respectful judgment angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd
Yeah.
have to be able to prove that's a true angle and not just subjective, not just
I got you.
your like, you know
Well,
what I mean?
just the conversation we have proves that. Because here's the thing,
Wait, it
you're
proves that God's real.
yeah. Because here's the thing, you're borrowing right now. I'm allowing it, but you're talking about evil and you're talking about suffering. You're talking those things. You're talking as a Christian while rejecting
No,
the
I'm
God
not.
of the Bible. Yes. Here's the thing. Where does morality?
Evil existed before Christians.
Where does objective morality comes from?
I don't think it's
Or
objective, bro.
so it's subjective, right? So is
It's
morality
societal.
subjective?
It's societal. It's society. Well, so we have to agree on terms, right? So subjectivity means mind dependent, depending on a mind, right?
You said, but you did say it's societal, right? So it's society.
So I'm trying to. I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
there. I'm not backtracking. I'm just
No,
making
okay.
sure we are defining. Like, we have our words
Gotcha.
defined so that.
Okay.
So the way I look at it is subjective. The way it's defined is mind dependent. So it depends on a mind to be real, to exist. I
Mm-hmm.
would say that morality is a construct of the mind. So it relies on humans, society, brains to even exist.
Okay. So what's wrong with um child sacrifices
Emp-
what's wrong with
empathy.
child sacrifices?
Empathy. So humans developed empathy due to tribal days and needing to be in tribes to be able to like live. So we learned hundreds of thousands of years ago that being in tribes, this is a fact. You can actually look this up. We learned thousands of years ago that
Mm-hmm.
being in tribes developed humans and developed us to be able to live and last longer. By being in those tribes, we also developed a sense of empathy, that golden rule thing. So what happened was we went, oh, I don't want it to happen to me, so I'm not going to do it to you. You need a place to stay, so I'm going to let you go. I'm going to help you build a tent because when I need a place to stay, I want you to help me build a tent. And the guys that didn't go and help were excluded from the pack. And today we have the same thing with empathy. The empathy today, anyone that's not empathetic, we deem them sociopathic or psychopathic, and we exclude them from the group. We call them like insane or crazy or people that they lack empathy, right? They lack the ability to understand and feel your emotion, to feel your pain. So I would say that empathy grounds morality, and again, it's subjective because you need a brain for morality to exist. Unless you could show me
Okay,
morality without a brain.
I see. You see. So morality is subjective.
Right.
So okay. So what's wrong with in your worldview, Don Dada, what's wrong with suffering? Why is it wrong?
It stops humanity from growing and prospering,
What
and for us
why
to
is it
all doing good.
I see you. Why does humanity matter in your worldview?
Because as a society, we want to exist, and we've came to the agreement through axiom, meaning like self-evident, that we want to be together, we want to exist. So we
Mm-hmm.
all look at each other neighborly and go, "Hey, I want to exist. You want to exist? Yeah. So let's exist. Let's not hurt each other."
So but that's subjective, right? What if I think that's wrong?
To our society, yeah, it's subjective to our. It's subjective to humans, not just even our society, but to humans.
So what if I want to do other? What if I want to eliminate
You would be
you
excluded
and
from the pack
why?
because you were doing something against the greater good of all the man together, all of our brains
Why does
together,
good?
saying,
Why does who? So, but it's subjective. You're good. What you say is bad. I say good. So who's the ultimate authority here?
right. So you have to understand that it will come to a point where what you're saying is relying on your God to be able to stand there and judge it,
No,
right? And to
notice I
say,
didn't
well,
bring up God.
hold on, Jonathan. My
I'm
point
sorry.
is the only way that you're able to say, well, then who says that that's good or who says that that's bad, or and keep asking questions is because
Mm-hmm.
you're standing from a position where you're able to have some kind of judgment due to your position, but your position is a presupposition, so you'd have to prove that presupposition to even ask a question and make a judgment on that question. Do you
I
see
see
what
what
I'm
you're
saying?
saying. No,
Or else you
yeah,
can't make
no.
a judgment on it. You could say you could hear my answer, but then you wouldn't
Hmm.
be able to say that that's right or wrong without proving how you're
No,
getting your right or wrong.
no, and I respect that. What I'm trying to show is in your worldview is cracked. Because here's the thing, like once again,
I was
you're borrowing. You make it seem as if creation. You make it seem as if humanity means something. I'm saying all humanity does mean something because in my worldview, we are all made in the image of God. Therefore, everyone is due respect, honor. You should not do these things. But in your worldview, you reject God. So here's the thing: everybody is authoritarian in your worldview. You're the authority. The next person's the authority. What you have is you have anarchy, because what you say, no, that's not good for society. The next person or the next tribe is going to say, no, I think it's okay for me to be a cannibal and run up in your house and do as I please.
and we will exclude them from society
How
because
can
the
why?
majority because of empathy. Natural
What?
natural process called empathy that all humans
But
have.
but how do you have a why? So why do you have a right to exclude them when they're just exercising their subjective morality? Why
Because
why
they're
why do you
not
have the right?
because the group that has empathy says that hey, this guy is hurting us and we're trying to prosper. So we empathy leads to the innocence not being harmed, right? Harm reduction of innocence. That's what
I see.
empathy leads to. Do you
But
agree?
do you see what I'm saying? But hold on. Do you
But
see
hold
what
on.
I'm?
Let me just run this so I can try to
I'm
flesh it
sorry.
out real quick. Do you
Okay.
agree that empathy leads to harm reduction?
What does empathy have to do with anything in your worldview?
Do you know what empathy is?
You, can you explain it?
Yeah, let me pull a definition up for you, bro. So we got like a
Okay. Hmm.
clear,
Yeah.
easy definition.
I want the
That way,
definite.
it's like
Yeah.
we're using a definition from the same words that we're talking right now, so everything is
Right.
equal.
Hmm.
Empathy is the ability to recognize, understand, and share the thoughts, feelings of another person. It involves emotionally understanding what others feel, seeing things from their perspective, essentially putting yourself in someone else's position. Empathy is crucial for establishing connections. That's the main point right there, and fostering
Hmm.
companionship and interpersonal relationships. So through what empathy is how
Hmm.
we build society. And anyone that doesn't want to live in that way, sure, you don't have to, but guess what? You're going to be excluded from society, and that's all it is.
But it goes right back to what I'm saying. All of that, and thank you
But
for
it
bringing
doesn't
that.
matter.
No, but yet no,
My
I would
point is,
say,
Jonathan,
huh?
you're creating a judgment, but you're not proving your God. You'd have to right now. Your judgment is bankrupt because you can't say, well, but that's not a good thing because you have no foundation, right? I have foundation in natural process that we can see. We can
Natural
look up empathy.
process.
Empathy exists.
You do know, Donna,
Empathy.
you do know there are still people on this planet who think cannibalism is the right thing. You
Yeah,
still
I agree, bro. And they would be
you
outcasted from society. You agree
they're
with that?
I would say they're wrong in the sense because I
No,
have
no,
an
no.
no wait hold on wait
No,
okay
I'm
this
saying,
let me I'm sorry go
do you
ahead.
agree with that? That I'm sorry, I just want you to answer the question. Do you? And then I'll go to your question. But do you agree that they are outcasted from society? Serial killers, cannibalism, any sociopath and psychopaths. They're all disorders and they're all excluded from society, right?
I think I'm glad that the Lord has allowed for them to be excluded, but I will say that society is not being consistent with His worldview because we live in
You have to
America.
demonstrate.
Hold
You'd have to
hold on.
demonstrate because you just appeal to God, bro.
Here's the thing: who else can we appeal to? If you're the authority, and then I'm the authority, and then the next person's the authority. You see what I'm saying? Like, so there has to be an ultimate. There has to be a lawgiver, unless here's that's why I
I don't
said
agree.
this comes down to authority. Yes, honestly, you do because you said back. Remember, we were talking earlier. You don't agree with God, and it's your standards. You have put your place.
No,
So wait, okay, so
Jonathan, I said that wasn't it. I said that wasn't why.
I'm
It
sorry.
wasn't about me thinking that God's evil. You don't remember that? I showed
Okay,
you. I
so I
said it a few times.
apologize if
It,
I apologize. I apologize. No, what I
the
was
whole point
saying.
wasn't that I think God's evil because that doesn't matter. That's just like I said earlier.
No,
When you
no.
said that, I went, "That's my subjective opinion." Remember that? I was like, "It doesn't matter if I think he's evil. That's just my subjective opinion. What does my opinion matter to God?" That's what I said.
So Jonathan helped me get on. Someone, Victor. I'm sorry. Hold on, Victor. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. I'm not the
Right,
host,
we're trying to
so
have this one-on-one real quick. We were
yeah,
plotting,
yeah.
so
Real
like
quick, and
I
then
want to
yeah,
make sure we're both heard.
yeah. No, and I appreciate that, and I know people. Oh my goodness, I know people. I know people probably gonna be coming after you, but honestly, Don Dada, some of the stuff I just said, I think more people gonna be coming after me, and I'm okay with that. But um, I wanted to get back to the authority thing. That's what I'm saying. There has to be. Now you were rejected, but here's the issue though, and this here my heart on this. The problem with your system, your worldview is it's borrowing from my worldview. And just don't cut me off. Listen to what I'm saying. And what I mean by
All
that
right. I
is,
disagree, but I won't cut you off. My bad. Go
yeah,
ahead.
okay. And what I mean by that is you speak as if people have value. You speak of it as if there's dignity with it. People are to be treated with respect and not to be murdered. But here's your thing: the problem is the problem in your worldview and the fortunately in my worldview is we have an ultimate standard who has said you do these things, there's repercussion. You don't do these things, you're rewarded. In your worldview, it's arbitrary. It's who
No,
it's a no yes it is. It's survival of the fittest. History has showed this. I'm pretty sure you know about communism. I'm pretty sure you know whoever comes up and say I have a better plan. I know what's best for you. This is what we're going to do. And here's the thing, Don Dada, you can't say anything about it because they have risen to the ranks. It is survival of the fittest. And what you say, no, 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 this isn't good for society. They can be like, me wiping you out is what's good for society. And you can't say anything. So what I'm saying is when you talk about empathy, when you talk about suffering, when you talk about all these things that the Christian talks about, and then on the flip, so you borrow my capital, you take my money, then you
I
run
don't.
over it. No, but you
I
are
don't.
all
Good and evil existed way before Christianity. You know that, right?
good.
Hinduism has good and evil, and that's like thousands of years before Christianity. If anything, you're
That's
borrowing. With your logic, I could just say you're borrowing from other religions as well. What good and evil is. The concept of good and evil existed way before. The concept of love thy neighbor existed way before Christianity. These concepts aren't localized to Christianity. You understand that, right?
what's the context?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
So when the Buddhist says love thy neighbor, what's the why? What's their context?
Let's look it up.
Because I can tell you the context of mine. Yeah, because you look it up.
My point is just why I looked this up. My point is, the Christianity isn't the first group to say good and evil exists. You understand that? Do you accept that?
Oh, God's eternal, so God spoke first. So no, I reject that.
So I can show you other religions that existed before Christianity, or was even formed, or Jesus came before anything of Christianity, that talk about good and evil, that
But
aren't
yeah,
from of any Christian God.
I know of, yes, I know of. I've heard the arguments. I'm aware of some of the arguments. But that's why I say you have to explain the context. It's different context. When Jesus says "Love thy neighbor" in the Ten Commandments, when we get the Shema, which I read every day, um, when we the Christian does these things and the Buddhist does these things in a total different context. So that's what I'm saying. So for me, yeah, okay, you can have Buddhist monks or whoever was saying this thing. I mean, you can go back to the Egyptians. People try to make those parallels, but that's a whole nother topic. However, the thing is, God's eternal, and His word has always stood, and it will stand before. It will stand after time. So my thing is this: once again,
So
though, and I would argue with them. Yeah, they're
you're
borrowing
appealing to
from our
God.
worldview
You're appealing
because
to God, so you would have to prove God for it to matter, right? Or else
you
you're
would have.
just presupposing it, and it's like it doesn't really mean anything. Because you gotta understand, the Buddhist will say that the Hindu will say the same thing to you, right? Or the Sumerian guy is gonna tell you the same thing. He's gonna say, "No, dude, Sumerians are thousands of years before Christianity. Our God existed. Our gods existed thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years before your gods even were thought of. Good and evil existed then. Your guys are getting it from us, right?" And what would I would look at both y'all and go, "Okay, well, who's telling the truth now?" You'd have to
I,
actually prove at that point, because you're looking at your God and you're using him for your standards here, but you're not proving that that God's real. You see what I'm saying?
no,
So it falls short, is what I'm saying.
no, what I hear what you're saying. What I'm saying is you don't have an this is not even this can't even be a thing without God existing. We wouldn't be arguing about evil. We wouldn't be arguing about suffering. We wouldn't be arguing about the wrong things that's going on in the world, which I agree with. However, we could not even be talking. The atheist, you could not. And I would say, honestly, there's no such thing as an atheist. There's agnostics. Because according to the scriptures, all men know that God exists. You just suppress him. You just reject him. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't exist. That just means you hate the God of the Bible. So what I'm saying is, once again, all of these things you talk about, far as with morality and all that stuff, it doesn't mean anything in your worldview. It only means stuff in mine. We
No,
deal with this. Why did once again? Why
you're
does
just presupposing
humanity
it, bro.
humanity?
You're just
Why does it?
presupposing it. It doesn't matter. You understand that good and evil is in the ancient Egyptian religion 3,000 years before Christ existed. You
So is it
understand
wrong
that
for?
Sumerian,
Um,
Akkadians, and Babylonians all had good and evil. Canaanites and Ugantics had myths of good and evil. You understand that there's whatever they're called, Zoroastrianism, which is 1,500 years before Christianity, that had good and evil. The only way that you can demonstrate that it is from your God, is by proving your God exists. And until you do that, it would just be another claim that it would be a brute claim that isn't like proven. You know what I'm saying? Which then it
well,
wouldn't really
I see what you're saying.
it
I
wouldn't
know.
like matter. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I hear what you. No, I hear what you're saying. But once again, what I'm saying is, I don't think you hear what I'm saying. And just hear what I'm saying real quick, because I hear what you're saying. As far as Christianity and all these things, what I'm saying is God has always been. So what I'm saying is the Buddhists, the Christian, whoever, they have got taken from the biblical worldview, but they distorted it. That's what I'm saying. So
The
my
ones
thing
that
is this:
existed way before your God have taken from your Bible.
God's
Is what you're saying?
eternal.
The ones that existed way before your Bible are coming from your Bible.
Yeah, way before the Bible, but God's eternal. He's first. He's beginning
So
and
so
end.
you understand that in Hinduism, Brahm is a god that has no beginning or end, right? So he would be claimed as first. So under
Who is
your
it? I'm sorry.
evidence base,
I'm sorry. Who is it?
Brahm,
Oh,
Brahm,
Brahm. Okay.
under your evidence base, now Brahm is also, now you're getting your morality from Brahm, and I have the equal amount of evidence as you have, and I have the equal argument that you have.
Did Brahm exist?
You see the problem?
Wait, did Brahm come into his own creation and wear flesh and die on the cross?
Now you're direct God. Yeah, he came into his creation. He's an eternal source. He
So
created
he
the universe and he merged. But no, of
no
course,
wait
your
wait no
God. You have a direct claim of your God dying on a cross. That doesn't. I could ask you that something about Brahm that
dying
your
and
God doesn't
raising.
have.
So wait, so
And
okay,
well, that's
so
not proven, but I have something
wait,
like that in with them.
so
I can do that
historians
with them
both
too.
wait. I'm sorry, Dundada. So hold on. So both pagan and Christian historians approve that Brahm exists.
You said both what?
Do non-Christian and Christian um, historians, theologians, well, historians, right? Because at this point, you both have one of the most, I would say, of our day, Bart Ehrman. Which is a devout. He denounced the faith. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you know about him, but yeah, he is a scholar. Well, that's up for debate nowadays how scholarship is going to be. And he's basically paraphrasing, was saying that you would have to be. It's insane to say that Jesus uh, never walked the earth. He never. Excuse me. He didn't exist. So that's why I
Wait,
said
why does that matter?
it does. It matters because you said Brahm, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that he predates, and I'm saying, so do we have do? That's why I asked the question: does pagan philosophy? I'm sorry, not philosophers. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. It's been a long day. Okay. Do you agree? Is there evidence, or are pagan and Christian scholars saying that Brahm actually exists? Did he walk the planet? Did he come into his own creation?
It's so let me recall real quick. So right now, we were talking about a mythical Jesus, and I'm gonna say it from my angle, right? A
Uh
mythical
huh.
Jesus, a Jesus that is walking on water, is God. We're talking about a Jesus that is God, right?
Wait, why you bring up
Yes,
the
the man.
water part? Why you bring that up?
I'm just bringing up random things that can't exist, that can't happen, that Jesus is claiming that he did. My point is,
Wait, why can't
so
it
we're talking about
exist?
show where it's ever existed.
Wait, why? No, I'm asking why can't it? Why can't Jesus? Why can't he? Why couldn't he walk on water?
It's not possible for a human to walk on water
It's
due to
not. Oh,
molecules and the surface pressure of
oh,
the flood.
oh.
But hold
So
on, that's
wouldn't
not the
that?
point. That's not the
Wait,
point. I don't
wouldn't
want
that
to
make that
derail.
a
That's a derail.
miracle? Wouldn't that make that a
That's a
miracle?
derail. Right, that's my
Uh,
point. Exactly. This is my point. So let me finish the point. This is my point.
That's
The
what makes
Jesus
things a
that we
miracle.
were
It's
talking about.
extraordinary. That's
So
what
right.
makes
So let me show you. Let me
miracles.
show you. Right. Exactly. That's my point. Let me show you. Let me show you. My point is, we're talking about a Jesus that is God, that can exist. That isn't a real human. Yes, a human can exist as a cult leader for sure. That's a fact. That's fine. Buddha existed 250 years before Jesus and talked about good and evil. Yes, he was just a cult leader. That's fine. Jesus can exist as a cult leader, yes, but the Jesus that we're talking about, the God, the one that is walking on water and is doing all these things and is making a whole bunch of food, and things exist and things that can't happen, that don't happen,
It
that's a
happened, but
whole nother
okay.
claim. There's no data. There's nothing to prove that it happened.
Uh,
Which is
we,
why I
we,
said you have the burden of proof right now to prove that God exists, because that's where you're pulling everything from.
no,
So it's bankrupt. When you make a judgment claim about my morality, it's bankrupt because you don't have anything to pull from. You're pulling from like an empty well and saying, "See, bro, you're wrong because," and it goes, "Bro, but you don't have any water in your pail. I got water in my pail." We know that empathy exists. We know that natural cause. We know that we were in tribal days and people that didn't work together died off. We know that by working together, we existed longer, and we existed in groups, and that's what got us further. And we know that the groups that did exist together got further, hunted and produced for each other, and we all came with a job to do. We know that the
mm-hmm.
people that great kids in those groups and hurt women got excluded and died off. You don't
Okay.
have your pail is empty. My pail is full of water. That is actual data that you can just look up real quick, and it shows you that empathy exists as a fact. Yes, we lived in tribal days. Yes, we developed empathy through natural causes. All these things I'm saying is literally factual data. You're saying God. You're pointing to God, and I'm saying, bro, I don't see that in your pail, bro. You got to show that, or else it's just invalid.
Well, would it be fair to say that well, if you reject God from off from the beginning, right? You say no, this person doesn't exist. Would it be fair to say that whatever I present to you, you're going to push back? Would that be fair?
No, because truth bends the will of humans to it. All of us. Truth bends the will of anyone that is being honest to it. If I tell you this, the grass is green, you can't argue me and go it's purple. You would just be bluntly wrong, and you'd be lying. Does
Why?
that make sense?
In your worldview,
Because
I would be wrong,
it's no, in everyone's worldview, that's wrong.
but I
Is the
think
grass
it's
purple right now?
I think it's green. I mean, I think it's
That's
purple.
what. You think it's yeah? So you're wrong.
Why?
You know how? You know how?
How?
We have objective tests that we
Oh
can run,
wait, wait,
that we
wait.
can
Oh, so
determine
now we're
the
dealing with
photons of light hitting the grass, and we can see
wait.
that grass is green to our lens.
So now we're
Thus, if
dealing.
you say it's
Wait.
not green, you're just living in a delusion, or you'd be in a delusion.
So now we're dealing with objectivity. You get before. So when is it subjective and when is it objective? Because morality.
Oh,
So
so like I
morality is
said,
subjective.
morality, obviously, yes, that's just how it is. It's
Oh,
morality.
okay, okay. So
It
morality
does.
is
Does
subjective.
morality does it need it
Okay.
needs a human brain to be conceived.
It needs a human brain to be conceived. Okay.
It needs a brain. It needs a human brain, and to need a
So
human brain, like we agreed earlier, is
so
subjective.
so Dandada. So if morality is subjective, there's no right or wrong.
You're missing. So you're derailing us now left to what
No,
we were
no,
just talking
wait,
about.
no, wait, wait. Okay, can you
We're
answer the
going back to
question?
morality.
Morality.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is there is there right or wrong in your worldview?
Due to natural laws and empathy, yes.
Natural law and empathy.
Yeah.
Nat
Now, is there
nat
right and wrong?
I've been arguing this right and wrong, but over here, I've been over here. Not
Right.
you
Right.
just said it's
Again, you're
subjective,
not.
Dandada.
Yeah, you're not proving you're God, so it doesn't matter what you judge it as.
No,
You
you
understand that,
haven't.
right?
Hold on, but here's
I
wait,
have
wait. What
natural processes that you can observe right now.
do you get what I'm saying, Dandada? How? So if I want to come over your house right now and steal everything you own, do you have the right to call the police on me?
Yes.
Why?
It's a society norm due to empathy, due to natural law.
It's a it's a society norm. That's
Yeah, that I can call
that's
the cops on you. That's why we have laws. You understand that's where laws come from, right?
so what if the cop sees it the way I see it? Are they corrupt?
They wouldn't, bro, because of evolution. That's a
Oh,
that's a what
wait,
if that's not possible.
you do know there's corrupted cops, right?
Yeah, that you said corrupted cops.
I'm saying that because I have objective morality. You
You'd
don't.
have to prove it. You would have to again. You're pointing the finger, but you have no ground because it's you need to go ahead and prove the God claim so that you can hold this standard and say,
No, I'm
see, my morals are better.
Wait, what I'm saying is I'm proving it by showing your inconsistencies. This is what I'm showing.
You're
You
not. It doesn't matter.
1 minute. I'm being consistent. You're
You're
not.
not.
How? Okay, so I'm saying
You're not.
there's
I showed you how you weren't.
I'm saying there is objective truth. You're saying, and I'm saying there's a such thing as objective morality, right? So, but in your worldview, you just said, as far as what society, but then if I live in society, or if I bring my worldview, my society to your worldview, and I say, yes, I want to take everything you own, and on top of that, let's
You
add one, hold on, and enslave you, you don't have the, and then I say, I'm not even thinking about the repercussion. Why? Because I am the authority. And and since morality is subjective, there's no right and wrong. I can do as I please.
there is a right and wrong.
Who are you to restrain me from doing as I please? Would you be
I
wrong to
so I
restrain me?
explained it. You understand that you at this point you don't have a valid question to ask because you can't prove your
That
empathy. You can't
is.
prove your empathy. I mean, you can't prove your morals.
I can't? Ask me.
You can't.
Okay, ask me.
Okay, where do you get your morals from?
God.
Okay, how? All right, go ahead and substantiate that God exists to be able to make a judgment claim on my morals.
For the simple fact that you have made a whole lie, which says, does suffering disprove God? Just the fact that you know what suffering is, because you know that that is an objective thing, correct?
That exists before God, so I can be getting it from Egyptian mythology.
Oh, wait. So
Go ahead and
it's
prove
not.
it.
Wait, hold on. But there were.
Oh, don't run. No, brother,
No,
prove it. Prove
wait.
what
What
I'm
do you
asking
mean?
you.
Wait, hold on. I am proving it. I'm not running. There's
No,
nowhere to
you're
run.
trying to spin the wheel.
No,
Prove
I'm
what I'm
not
asking
trying
you.
to. Well, not. What was the question?
Evil has existed. So say I don't know nothing about your God, but I know about Egyptian mythology, and I say I came from Egyptian household. So I don't know about Christianity. Egyptian mythology has good and evil. Buddhism has good and evil. Hinduism has good and evil. All date before Christianity. I
I'm
go,
arguing.
yeah,
Wait,
dude, I know about evil. You said that I only know about evil due to your God. I'm saying I know about
That's all
evil
man.
because of
That's
the
all man.
Egyptian god. Because of the
Every,
Egyptian god. They would say the same thing about your
Egyptian
religion.
God, Egyptian God, he doesn't exist. What are you talking about? They don't
They would say the
exist.
same thing. They would say your God doesn't exist. So it null and voids your whole argument about I only know suffering because you're God. When they also have
So
suffering and they predate you. And if I don't know about your God, I still know that suffering exists, which instantly disproves your claim.
so you would say so Jesus didn't exist then. He didn't come into he didn't
Bro, are we
exist.
bro, are we listening, bro? Are we like
No, what
I
up
already I
no.
already answered this. I answered this.
So no, so I'm sorry, just one more time. I don't remember. I'm sorry. We were
The
we were
man the
talking.
man Jesus the man Jesus existed as a cult leader, yes.
Oh, as a cult leader. Okay.
Yeah, just like
So he
Buddha existed as a cult leader, as Muhammad as a cult leader, all these other guys.
so he had a following, basically. I mean, because cult can be a gathering. Is that the
No,
way you
a
mean
cult
it?
is just. I mean cult in the Oxford Dictionary, like the way it's described.
Can you explain? I'm sorry. Could you tell me? I don't know the
Yeah,
definition in
yeah,
that
dude. I'll
diction.
just look it
Yeah.
up. I got you real
Uh
quick.
huh.
Let me just
Okay.
type in
Okay.
because that way it's real clear. It's real chill. Because
Mm-hmm.
um, right now Christianity is also a cult. Like I would actually say that you're in a cult, but and not in a disrespectful way, but that's just what it is. You're in a cult, so you have a cult.
I
It's
see what you're saying.
a person or thing that is popular or fashionable among a particular group or sector of society. Another definition is a relatively small group of people having beliefs or practices, especially relating to religion, that are regarded by others as strange or sinister. All right, hold on. What definition is this from?
That's the wait. Could you read that first one again?
Yeah, yeah. The first one was a person or
Yeah.
thing that is popular or fashionable among a particular group. I'm looking for the Oxford, which is
So wait.
what
So that
we
would be
get majority of our
societal,
words
right?
from.
Would that be societal?
Hold on, let me type in Oxford real quick, because that's where
So,
we're using all that words from.
no. So what? Yeah. So I mean,
All right, you
according to
ready?
that. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
Let me
ahead.
give you
Go
the
ahead.
Oxford, because the Oxford is what we use. That's how we're talking right now. Our words we're using right now is there. So real quick, a relatively small group of people having a belief or practice, especially relating to religion, that are regarded by others as strange, sinister, and imposing excessive control. Another one is okay, so I read that one. A
Mm-hmm.
misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular thing.
Okay.
Cults are a social group which have unusual and often extreme religious, spiritual, and philosophical beliefs and rituals, extreme devotion to a particular person, object, or goals in another character.
Yeah. That first part
Which is
of
what
that
Christianity is.
that first part of that definition was a little biased, but okay.
What part? What part?
It was just the extreme part. I was just making a joke, saying the extreme or strange things,
Extreme
But
devotion. Y'all got
yeah,
extreme devotion, right?
no, was it? Did they say strange or? I'm sorry, maybe I heard wrong.
It says extreme religious, spiritual, or
Oh,
philosophical beliefs,
extreme. Yeah,
rituals,
the extreme.
extreme devotion to a particular person, object, or goal
Oh,
in another
okay, yeah.
character.
Okay. I see.
Which is what
Okay,
Christianity has, right?
I see what you're saying. Um,
So in my head, I go all of those Buddhism, all of those are cults. It's definitionally a cult.
okay, but you would believe the Buddhist before a Christian, right?
No, why would I do that?
Oh no, I was just
In
asking.
a God claim?
No, I was just asking.
In a God claim? No, I don't. No.
No, okay.
The Christian God is already disproven by suffering, but that doesn't mean that the Buddhist God isn't also disproven, or that their caste system isn't also disproven.
So you were talking about the Egyptians and stuff. Like you were saying, like so you learned like morality from the Egyptians or something like that. You would take their view of morality over
No,
Christianity.
that's not what I was saying. I was giving you an
Oh, okay.
example.
Oh, got you. Okay,
I was
okay.
showing you
Sorry.
that
Okay.
that you can gain morality if you were in an Egyptian household without knowing anything about a Christian God, and that one predates Christianity by thousands of years,
Oh, I
and you
see
would
what you're
still know
saying.
what suffering is. Because you were saying, I only know suffering. I'm only using the word suffering because I'm pulling it from the Christian God, from the Christian worldview.
Yeah, I would say like far as suffering like has no why is it wrong or right in that sense. Yes, I would say because like I asked you before, why does it even matter in your worldview? And you said basically with society, and I mean we're going back and
Empathy.
forth with
I said
that.
it's because of empathy.
Yeah, my thing is this. Once again, none of that stuff matters. It doesn't matter. In
So
your
you
worldview,
can't make that judgment. That
I,
doesn't. Respectfully, your judgment wouldn't matter.
there's
You
other
understand that?
atheists that's done to be respectful though. To be fair, there's other atheists that would agree what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They would be like, yeah,
No,
we're there.
my point is, your angle. If you're coming from an atheist angle, then again, atheists. You understand? Atheists don't hold anything but the lack of belief in a god. That's our only thing. So an atheist doesn't. An atheist also saying that doesn't like hold water because they can believe that the world's flat. You get what I'm
Well,
saying? That
yeah,
doesn't mean that they're. That doesn't mean that I have anything in common with them, all because we both like. The only thing we have in common is a lack of belief in a god or gods,
yeah. I would
right?
say, yeah, no. I would say the only, yeah. I would say what you have in common with with all atheists or any group that oppose that deny Jesus of the Bible. I would say you all are in the same group in the sense of you all are suppressing what it says. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of people who suppress the truth on unrighteousness, because that which is known about God is evident within them. So that's right. I'll stop right there. For so once again, by you arguing morality, I'm sorry, not morality, but evil, and why is it wrong for children to die and all these things, and I'm saying in your
No, that's not my argument.
but my thing, why even
Brother,
bring
this
it
whole
up?
time, I told you 3 times. I told you 3 times. My argument isn't that evil is wrong because I think it's wrong.
No, okay,
I
why even
told you that
talk
three
about
times.
it? Why are we? Why
I
so? Why
told
are
you
you?
why.
One more
I
time.
told you why. It shows a contradiction in God's nature. It's because there's a
Oh,
contradiction, not because of my emotions or what I think is right or
uh,
wrong, not because of my morality. I said that 3 times, by the way. This is the third time, actually. So two
wait, no,
times.
okay, no, because didn't I ask you? I don't know. It's been long, but I thought I asked you like because I'm like this is the like you didn't you say something like you're the authority or something like that?
Well, I don't.
I
Could you elaborate
I
on that?
I thought when we were talking, because I was like, this is an authority issue, and I was just like,
I
so
said
like
no, it's
who?
not. I
Oh,
said
okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
When we remember we were
I have
talking
to
about the
go
king
back.
thing, and I was like, no worries, bro. I was like, "Man, bro, it's about the king thing. King. I said it's not that I think that the king is wrong because I think the king is wrong and he's evil because I don't like his because I disagree with how he's ruling. It's that there's a direct contradiction in his nature. He can't in who his identity is as a king. He can't be all good and then need to use evil or use evil to enact and then claim it's still and then claim he's still all good. He can't be all good and say I'm gonna do this to these people that are bad and it's
Hmm.
for the good because now he's not all good. He's commanding evil to happen. And it's not about me caring of like, oh well, kids shouldn't be saved or evil shouldn't happen to those people because of my emotions. I don't know. It's not about morality at all. It's about a contradiction in his identity of what he claims he is. All good.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But so because bad things happen to people, then that equals. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if bad things happen to people, that means that God is not all good because He could prevent it.
Because earlier you agreed that God knew Satan was gonna that you earlier you agreed that that Satan is evil
Hmm.
and that God knew that Satan was going to be evil and exist before he made Satan and still made him to act out the evil. That's what you agreed to. Remember that?
I said, yeah, God created Lucifer. He turned into Satan. He fell. He took
And
angels
God knew
with him.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and God right, right. So that and then I said so that's part of God's plan and you said yes.
Oh yeah, it's part. I mean, yes, he's using. He allows evil. I mean, like I said, we go to Acts 4. I mean,
So that's the
the
contradiction.
but that's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You're saying it's a contradiction. I'm saying it's not a contradiction for the simple fact of. Oh, I'm sorry, that was loud. I don't know what that was. Sorry,
Oh my
something
bad.
happened. No, no, you good. Sorry, I thought you fell. I thought you okay. Um, Dang, that made me lose my train of thought. Oh, whoa. That's what I was saying. We were talking about evil and all this stuff. With X4 and things like that. The issue, and I'm because I know a lot of people want to, and I know a lot of people want to get on. So, I do want to be fair because we have talked a while. We have talked a while. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, bro, it got a little heated, but that's part of conversations. Just
Yeah,
know I
but
still
you know,
respect you, bro. You're always welcome.
same,
Just know
same
that.
here. Yeah. You know what though?
You're always welcome on.
We didn't name call or nothing like that. It was respectful. It was respectful.
Same, same.
I appreciate that. I was so my we yes we have different worldviews. Well, obviously, I don't. I'm saying I see from the scriptures that because evil exists, it does not diminish or contradicts God's attributes or His essence. For the simple fact of evil is not God's nature, but you would. you would disagree. You would say other. So I mean, I think we had a
Right. I just don't
yeah.
see. I don't see how you agreed that God is using Satan to enact His will. Real
Uh,
quick, I want to run a quick like P1, P2, P3 real quick before we, because
I
my thought
what
is there's people that want to talk to both of us, and I figure
yeah
I'll just put an open panel and let people ask questions to both of us, and also just interact with everybody, and then
gotcha.
that we'll call them, or whenever
Okay,
people want to leave, they can leave.
fair
So
enough. Fair
so could I
enough.
just run these keys real quick, bro? That way I will make sure that the chat and I understand properly, because I don't want to end on like a open end, and then it's like we next time we
Yeah.
talk we still had that same confusion as last time.
Right. 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 Right.
You know, because I appreciate learning from you as well, bro. So look,
Yeah.
so you said that the devil is evil, and God knew he was going to be evil, and God is enacting evil, like knowing that evil is going to exist, and is using him.
Yeah, Satan. I would say. Oh, yeah. So I would say Satan is on a leash. Like he is a means to God's purposes. Yeah, he's not. He's
So
not. Yeah.
would you say that the devil is just God's messenger of evil on God's behalf?
No. Like I said before, I would say that Satan is because he's a created thing, so he's not autonomous. He can't do as he please. He is a means. For the in purposes for God, he uses him. He allows him to do things. We see that in Job. However, yeah. So to answer your question, I mean, he
So
is.
God uses evil.
He allows. Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, look at with Jesus. Yeah, I mean, with the plan of redemption. I mean, that was evil that took place.
Right. So he had
One,
to use that evil, right?
he chose to. He didn't have to. He chose to use it.
So he chose to. Right, right. So that's fine. So look, a king that's all good. If that king uses evil to do something to his people, even if it's for the greater good of the people in the end, that king is now not all good because he used evil.
I reject that.
Can demonstrate how that's wrong, please.
Once again, the plan of redemption came through the sinful acts of Pontius Pilate, King Herod, and the Jews. But look at it.
But
I mean,
God
I
knew
think,
that. God knew that was going to happen.
and it was
That's all
good. It
part of his
wasn't.
plan.
It wasn't just evil just to be evil. It was a purpose, and
But it
that
doesn't
resulted.
matter if evil.
No, but it
I'm sorry,
does.
you're giving purpose to evil, but evil is still evil regardless of the purpose you want to give
It's
it, right?
it's compatible. No, it's not just evil just for the sake of evil.
No,
You
that's not
see
what
what
I'm saying.
No,
I
but
agree. I agree with that. I agree with that.
yeah, that's what. So the thing is, I don't sit here and put God in the box. Oh, well, not the box, but I don't put him in the. I don't sit in the judgment seat and cross examine God. If God says in Romans 28 to Christians that all things work to good, all things, I believe it and I trust that. Why? Because I see it throughout His Word, and I know that one of the attributes of God is love and righteousness. So God is
Right.
not doing. He's not just doing things just for the sake of doing things. Like okay, when there's murder, when He's wiping out these unrepentant, hostile, God hating people, that's judgment on these people. It's not as left like Jeffrey Dahmer wanting to eat people's brains and just do evil for the sake of doing evil out of selfishness. So what I'm saying is, I don't sit in that seat and say, I mean, you may be comfortable, or someone else may be comfortable doing that, but as a Christian, we cannot do that. We have to deal with the fact that I'm sorry, I'm running off. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm running off. I am running. Sorry.
So
Okay.
so so what I heard you say is, and I'm gonna be very blunt and very. It's gonna be sound a little aggressive, but this isn't towards you. This is towards God. What I heard you
Oh,
say
whoa, wait,
is,
wait. Oh, pause. Put it towards me, not God.
no, it's towards God, bro. It's cool. I don't think He's real. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh,
It's not. I don't want to disrespect you. I don't mind disrespecting God because to me He's not real. You see what I'm saying? But you're real to me. You're someone. You're a human. You have value just for existing as a human.
I know, but that's scary, man. You got the answer for that. Just
That's
okay.
fine, bro. I don't mind if that's how God is. If He doesn't understand my questions are coming from a genuine spot, and I'm saying genuine things here, then that's dude. I'd rather not be with Him anyway. That's just me. If any of my family members don't end up in heaven, I don't want to be there anyway. I would ask to switch places at the very least. Send me to eternal punishment and let my family member that's not there, that I know is a good person, that I know went through struggles, and yeah, they sin, whatever, but they're not bad people. I know who my
Wait,
people
wait,
are,
wait, wait.
right?
You can't just you can't just over gloss. You can't gloss over that. Oh, I know they did bad things, but no, like there's that's right here. There's
No,
punish. There's
they lied.
done.
They didn't unalive somebody. They didn't grape somebody.
That
They didn't
doesn't
do. They
matter.
lied. Come on,
Sin,
eternal
sin
punishment
is
for lying, bro.
sin is sin.
So you think lying is equal to raping a little girl? Go ahead and say
I'm sorry.
yes
One
and
more.
see how crazy it is.
Wait. So one
Brother,
more time.
go ahead and tell me that. I'm sorry, I'm getting hyped. Let me chill.
No, no. What was
You're
that? What?
saying
No.
that, yeah, you're saying that raping a little girl is equal to lying.
It's sin. Yes.
Right. That's the problem with Christianity right there. That's the biggest problem. You think that someone that lies, it deserves equal punishment to someone that is raping a little child.
And
That is
there he goes
100%
again.
what's wrong with Christianity.
And you are making yourself the authority figure. It's blasphemous what you're
That's
doing.
100% wrong. This, you not again. This is
So,
this time, yes. The first time, remember,
right. Thank you.
you
I'm
forgot
glad.
again.
No, but
This
so,
time,
but
of course I am. I'm saying
okay.
it's wrong because of my life, my morality, my
Who
morality
are you?
system.
Who are you to say what's right and wrong?
Is,
Who are
is
you,
raping children
Dada?
ever okay? Is raping children ever okay?
In my worldview, it's absolutely not. But like once again, why?
Right.
Why in yours?
Is it
Why?
ever okay? So all different groups can agree it's not okay, right?
I'm saying it's sin. Yes, you're saying, oh,
Right.
sin. This is a little bit of sin. No big deal. You brushed it off.
I'm
Oh, they
saying
made
lying. I'm saying
it's sin.
lying is no big deal compared to you think that a child
You're
being
you're
essayed is equal to
inconsistent.
someone lying, bro.
You're inconsistent. I'm being
I'm
consistent.
not, bro.
How?
You got to understand how crazy that sounds from the outside. Like if you step outside and think about that,
Can I?
lying is equal. Me lying and telling my teacher my dog ate my homework. Or here's a great example. If I lie and say that when Schmittler comes to my door, I lie and say, yeah, I don't got people up in the attic. That lie that saved that little girl and all the whole family and everything and allowed the Schmittler to move on to more other houses, that lie is equal to a man raping 100 babies. Crazy, crazy. That's brother. That's why I can't be a Christian. That alone. That and again, the other part hasn't been satisfied. The contradiction in God's nature with the king thing I already gave. That
Because you
hasn't been
think,
satisfied.
well, the thing, because you think you know better than God. And the thing is,
I
here's the
don't. I saw
thing.
the contradiction in his nature.
You're comparing yourself, and this is the problem with all false religions, because atheism is a religion. Whether you want
It's
to
not. We
agree,
don't worship
it
anything.
is. You
What do we
don't.
worship?
You worship self.
I don't.
You worship yourself. Yes, you do. You
I
are
don't
the
worship
high.
myself.
So
What's
you know
worship?
what's worship?
I'm saying like let's define worship. Maybe I'm wrong.
Selfism. You know what's best over God. That's worship of self. That's a form of worship. You know what's
So
right.
you said that atheism is a religion.
Yes, it is a religion. Yes, it
You
has a
said that
belief.
Christianity is a religion.
It has a belief system. Anything that has a religion can be identified as religion. But I want to get back to what I'm saying here, though. The thing is, you're comparing your something that's
So
created to
hold
create.
on, Jonathan. I'm down. Real quick, sorry, brother. I want to define words properly.
I'm
Jonathan, I want ask the next question. You have to understand. You're the only one here that's in a religion. A religion is this is Oxford definition. The same way that I'm talking to you with every other word I'm using that you're understanding.
I'm
This is
listening.
another word that you have to understand the same way. The
Uh
belief
huh.
in or worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods. A particular and another definition, a particular system of faith or worship. I'm gonna be honest and give you all like that's last definition.
Mm-hmm.
Pursuit or interest in which someone ascribes extreme importance.
Yeah, your views are more important than God's. Your religion.
I don't have an extreme importance.
So
I don't ascribe an extreme importance to my
your view
views.
is not more your view is not more important than God.
What does that mean? You're asking if my standard view is more important than a mythology. That's what you're asking me from my angle.
Okay, fair enough. I
So,
think
but go ahead with your
okay.
next question. I'm just showing you that it's not a religion. If you're the only one here with a religion,
I mean we can agree to disagree. I can't even remember my next question. Oh
atheism
no,
is
what
just a lack of belief in a god. That's all it is. You do you agree or no?
say it one more time.
Atheism is defined as a lack of belief in gods or God or gods.
Do you know what historically that first part of what the definition was correct because the Romans, yeah, they They called Christians atheists because they weren't polytheists. So historically,
Right.
yes, it was the denying of multiple gods. It
Gods are
changed in
gods,
our
right?
it changed in our Western civilization,
All
context.
words
But
change. All words change to the newest definition based on groups of people that agree to words. That's
well,
the
not
same.
all words change. Sin is still sin.
What?
God is still holy. That still remains.
Well, no, but because the Bible doesn't update with time, it doesn't update like how science updates and science fixes its flaws. Science doesn't. Religion doesn't do that.
I'm
Bible doesn't
glad
do
it
that. They
does
keep.
it.
They say that.
Amen.
They say that children should be slaughtered, right, or be unalived
Who?
because they took over land 400 years after, right? They say that the firstborn babies of Pharaoh should be cursed and be unalived.
Can you give context?
What context makes baby being unalive okay?
No, I mean context matters, does it
Can
not?
you answer that?
No,
Is there
I
any
asked the
context
question.
that a baby being
Wait,
unalive
I
is
asked
okay?
Don Dada, I asked the question first.
That's my answer is there's no context where a baby being unalived is okay. Do you agree or no?
To what standard? To God's standards or
Demonstrate
your
your God
standard?
agree.
To God's
So
standards.
you think that God? Okay, so you think it's okay for God to unalive babies?
I think that if God chose to punish, or if He
Punish
decided to
babies.
punish
Sorry, go ahead. My bad. It's just hard
no,
for me to. These words are hard when you talk about
no,
babies.
I understand. I understand. This gets heated because I mean this is the emotional part of it, and I understand. And like I said, I am against evil. Evil is a real thing, and it will be judged at the last day. However, what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, God's what God has done and how He chose to show His attributes in His righteous judgment of some nations and sparing some. That's how He chose to do it. Hey, some are more comfortable with going against that. I'm not. I'm a biblicist, and I hold to what the text saying. And the thing is, we have to deal with those as the Christian. Yes, I got to deal with those texts. However, I never put myself in the position of putting God on the witness stand and saying, how can you do such a thing? I mean, you do. Well, you don't because you say you reject him. He doesn't exist.
No, I mean I
But
do, but yeah, like from an external point, I agree. But
that's crazy to
to
me
me
though. That's still crazy to me
that's the
because
difference between a cult and not a cult. A cult,
he
someone that's
doesn't.
in a cult isn't going to question anything. They're going to say it's okay if my God unalives babies because He knows better, and who am I to question unaliving
My
God?
thing. My thing
The
is this.
a
Once
God that
again, though.
unalives babies isn't all loving.
Once again, though, you need, in order to be an atheist, you need my God to be an atheist. You say he's a mythical
No, all I
creature.
need is all the other gods.
No,
I need
you
any
don't.
God.
No, but here's the thing.
Yeah, you just agreed that
Wait,
Christians
no,
were atheists back in the day.
what's
Hold
funny
on, you just
is
agreed that Christians were atheists back in the day
because they said
due
there's
to
only
the
one.
other gods that existed.
Yeah,
Because
we're
they right,
monotheists.
exactly.
We're monotheists.
Exactly, bro. That disproved what you just said.
How does it? Wait, what? How does that prove what I just said?
You
What
said
I'm?
that the only way I can be an atheist is by disbelieving in your God.
Oh
You
yeah,
just
you.
showed
Oh,
earlier that
you. Yeah,
your people disbelieved in other gods and were atheists, and you said that's how that was.
because no
So
one
that
because
shows a way that they can see. It's a contradiction in what you're saying.
down. Can I just gonna say something real quick? Okay, let's just hold on. Let's calm down. I'm gonna calm down for the sake of the listeners. Let's because I'm sorry. I apologize for over talking you. I want the viewers to
Me
be
too,
able
brother. Me
to.
too.
Yeah, I want. I apologize to the viewers. Because dang, we just talking over each other. So yes, in the historical sense, yes, Christians were considered atheists for the simple fact because the text says there's only one God, Yahweh, one God. Um, but they were polytheists. They believed in multiple gods. So that's why Christians were called.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But it
Right.
has
That's my
changed. It
point.
has, yeah. But what I'm saying, reason why I made that statement that in order you to be an eighth, to be in this day and age. So to be fair, in this day and age, the way is defined now, you need the God of the Bible, but of to be an atheist for the simple fact of you wouldn't even have a foundation to stand on to argue against. You know God exists, you just reject him. But you're saying all these, he's mythical and all of these things. If he's mythical, why even have the discussion then, Don Dada? What does it matter?
I told you in the past why we have this discussion. Do you remember?
Okay. I'm
because
sorry.
beliefs
I'm
shape
at
our
to watch the
society.
view again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good, brother. It's because beliefs shape our society, and people believe
Oh, you did
things
say that.
based on their beliefs, right? And people vote based on that. So your vote, one day you might vote to unalive a baby because you believe that God does only things that are good and only commands good stuff. And one of the good stuff that He commanded was unaliving a baby. So if in the future you have a revelation, or a bunch of Christians have their cult meeting, and y'all have a revelation that babies should be
Oh
unalived,
no.
guess what?
Oh.
All those Christians are going to be voting to unalive babies, and I'm gonna go. Yo, that's why we need to talk and have these conversations, because babies don't deserve to be unalive. But you think they can be unalive as long as God commands it.
I will
That's
say
evil.
this. I would say I would be on your side if they said they got a new revelation. If some Christians said they got a revelation from God to unalive babies, no, I would be on your side with that because I don't believe there's new revelation being presented. So I
All right,
believe that the yeah. So
all right,
I the
respect. I
yeah
respect
the
that. So,
canon
so let
the
me ask you this
canon is
last question, and
closed.
then I just bet
Yeah.
I respect that, and I want to open the panel up to everybody to come on and ask these
Yeah.
questions, and also just talk to us, and so we can have a
Uh huh.
big open discussion.
Okay.
Um, So my last question, and then if you want to have a last question or you have anything you want to say, I definitely want to allow you to have the final word. Since this is
Thank
my
you.
life, I want to make sure, like, again,
Thank you. Thank
somehow
you.
I'm being fair, because I have been over talking to you, and I apologize for that.
I apologize too.
I just get heated because I care about this conversation. Um,
Same.
so I was talking to a Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about this, and I went, "Wow, this is crazy that y'all believe this." So, do you remember when God commanded for the slaughter of the babies, the women, the men, and the cattle of the Amalekites and the Canaanites?
What? Yeah, I'm trying to think. What book was that in? Do you
That
know
was
what
either
book?
in Exodus. That was either in Exodus or that was in Leviticus. I think one of them was in Leviticus. Maybe. Are you looking it up? You want me to look it up?
Could you look it up? I mean, I think it's fair you look it up because
Yeah.
you're presenting the argument. So yeah,
Yeah. That's all good, bro. No worries.
yeah,
No worries.
yeah.
So the point is,
Mm-hmm.
let me get the verse. That way we can be consistent with the Bible.
Yes, yes. Tell me, yeah, tell me, please, so I can look it up. Whew.
All right. It's 1 Samuel 15:3
I'm sorry. One more time.
for the Amalekites. It's 1 Samuel 15:3.
Okay, so just
Are you
give me a
familiar
few
with that?
seconds. It's actually through the. I'm actually my wife and I going through. We went through that. I'm sorry. So for you said First Samuel, and then what chapter?
15:3.
15:3. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, did you want to read? You want me to read it or?
Oh no, we don't even got to read. You know what it says, right? I already explained what it's talking about. So
Oh,
if
the
we
Lord
both
said.
agree that what I
Oh, I see what you said. Yeah.
now go,
Okay.
I guess I'll read. And I'll go and attack the Amalekites and devote the destruction to all that belongs to them. Do not spare them, but put to unaliving, or men,
Mm-hmm.
women, children, and infants,
Mm-hmm.
oxen and sheep, camels and donkeys. This passage is reflecting a command from God to destroy them, all the whole people.
I see
So
what you're saying.
there's a passage where God is directly commanding the unaliving of infants, not just babies. So now we got toddlers and infants being unalive, the blameless, right? Even though they're born with sin nature, they're still blameless. So this is my point. My
Wait, did
point
you read
is, when
verse
he
nine?
commanded that,
Wait, Dada,
oh,
did
you
you
want to
read
read it?
verse
Go
nine?
ahead. I'm
No,
down if you want to read it.
I would like you to read. Could you read verse nine?
Samuel 15, verse 9.
Yeah, yeah, same chapter.
All right, one sec. All right, 1 Samuel 15, verse 9. And Saul, excuse me. Let's go
Mm-hmm.
to the Bible Hub. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, international. We'll do the new international version, if that's cool with you.
I like NASB. I'm sorry, I'm a little biased.
Let's see if I can find it, bro.
Okay, if not, I'll read
NASB,
it.
New American Standard
Yeah,
Bible. I got you. But
yeah.
Samuel and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep, the oxen, and the more valuable animals, the lambs, and everything that was good. But were unwilling to destroy them completely. But everything discreditable and weak that they completely destroyed.
So why you never bring that up?
What is your point there?
My point is, so did Well, you just read it. They didn't wipe them out, and God punished them for it, but they didn't wipe them out.
Right, exactly. That's the point. God punished them for. But they actually they did. They wiped
No,
everything
but
but the
that was
animals.
wait, that wasn't the point you
Go
were
read
making
it.
at first, though. That was not the.
Yeah. My whole point is the infants, and they what did they do? They wiped out everything except for the animals that they brought back to be slaughtered for God's glory. And then God literally condemns them for bringing back or who is it? One of the guys condemned them for bringing back the animals and say, "Go back and slaughter them." I
Oh yeah,
regret that I've
reverse it.
made Saul king. He has turned away the following me and has not carried my instructions. And Samuel was distressed and cried out to the Lord all that night. So God is saying you didn't follow my instructions by unaliving the babies. Do you agree?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Like everything
Come
though.
on. It's not a
No,
lot to think about. It's
no,
right
you're
here.
no. I'm not disproving that the babies were in there, but my thing is that's not all that what the text was about. So let's stop trying to appeal
What do
to
you?
emotions. You're appealing to
It's not a
emotions.
guilty emotion. I'm
Let's
I'm
just
I'm asking you straight up. Did God say to unalive babies and get mad when they didn't unalive babies?
and the animals and everything. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying be fair and read the whole text. That's all I'm saying. Be fair. Stop trying to use
So I
one
did,
point.
and I did right. And reading it, when you continue reading it, it shows that God was mad because they didn't fulfill it. Right? They
Yeah,
didn't fulfill His command.
yeah, they didn't wipe out everyone.
They didn't wipe out everyone or the animals.
No, it's actually I can't
Tell me where
remember
it says they
exactly.
didn't wipe everyone out.
There's actual story. Yeah, maybe not in this text. So we can
Yeah,
open up
because
to.
they failed at it, and some people got away because you see them later on in the Bible. You see them later on in other books. The point is, they were commanded to go and unalive them all, and they failed, but they still unalived all dang near all of them. Yes,
Wait,
some ran
so
out of the city and ran out of the tribe.
that means they didn't kill all
Sure,
that means they didn't kill all the babies, right? If they was able to
you
still
think all the
exist,
babies
correct?
made it out of there, bro? You think
How were
all the
they
babies
able?
made it out of there?
How were they still able to exist as a people? You would have to
So,
wipe out
so
the
let me ask you this.
generations, Dandada.
Right. They went against God's command to unalive everything, right?
Compatibilism. But anywho,
It doesn't matter if humans if the humans messed up or not. God's command was to don't mess up and unalive all the babies and
well, no,
everything.
that was ordained for them.
Right?
Here's the thing, but here's the thing. In my system, that they were what they did was ordained to not take. But there was mercy given. It's still
Where's the
mercy.
mercy in unalive the babies?
He didn't wipe out all of them. Honestly,
God's command was to unalive all the babies, and He got
uh,
mad when they didn't do it.
according to the Bible, honestly, the fact that man, the fact that you, any atheist, myself,
Crazy, bro. That
hold on, wait,
you're
let me
dodging it.
finish, and then we can open
This is
up the
not part of the
thing.
question,
I'm sorry. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Jonathan. You're dodging the question.
No, what's the
The
question?
question is straight up. The question is, God commanded the unaliving of all the babies and infants, and
Oh
anyone that
yes,
didn't do it disobeyed God's command.
it was a disobey. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
Right. That's an immoral God. But the point
no,
is,
I reject
the
that.
thing that
But
I
okay.
realized in that story, the main point of this wasn't. It's like I know God unalives babies all the time. That's not the point. It's cool. Your God does that, and y'all are cool with that. That's fine. The point is, any Israelite that said no, that said I'm not gonna unalive a baby, sinned in God's eyes.
Yeah,
I would have
absolutely.
sinned in God's eyes. That's think about it, bro. That's you're
Yeah.
sinning because you're not unaliving a baby,
Well, here's
and
because
you think that
you
that's a moral God.
well, I would say the same with those that reject it, along with you. They think that they know better than God. It goes all the way back to the garden. Adam and Eve think they know better. They thought they knew better. Lucifer think they knew better, and now over 2,000 years later, we're having this conversation with a person who thinks he knows better. It's the same curse.
Bro,
It is. It's the same thing. It really is. But okay. Are we
Hey, how's it
opening up
going?
the thing?
hey, hold on.
Okay.
I wanna make sure because I had my final thing to say. I want to make sure Jonathan gets his final words or
Oh,
whatever he wants to say, and
thank
then
you.
I'm gonna open it up. But I did have my final question and my final words, which was God is a contradiction for allowing baby and for commanding babies to be slaughtered. Like I gave the example with the king. The king can't be all good and command evil to exist. It's just not a thing. Go ahead,
I
Jonathan.
got. Okay, thank you. And I will stay on for a few questions because I didn't know. Wow, I got church in the morning, so I will stay a little while longer because I want to be respectful to the guests. But I will be getting off soon. But I will. I know. I'm pretty sure there's some bullets that's going to be flying at me. So I want to give people their fair chance to shoot at me. With that said, I appreciate the conversation, and I think if, for anyone that's for the Christians that's watching this, it just shows God's. It shows that apart from God's grace in granting the gifts of repentance and faith, this is what and not I'm not throwing shade. I'm not trying to be mean when I say
It's
this, but
crazy, Jonathan. I
but
think you're about to say it's crazy, man.
no, no. No, well, it does say that it says the gospel is foolishness to those who are perishing, Don Dada. And my thing is you
But God
reject
knew
it.
that before He made me.
My thing is this, yeah, but you're still held accountable. You're
How?
still
And He
held
knew everything I
accountable.
was going to do before He made me.
You're making
See, we're
that
gonna go
choice.
down the whole
But
thing. Just
wait,
go
this
ahead.
is my
Let
time
me
to get
understand.
my yeah. Wait,
That was,
wait.
bro. But you're like direct. I wasn't directing anything towards you, bro. That's,
I
go ahead.
this
Go ahead. Go ahead.
you didn't say I couldn't in my final
You're right.
statement. I mean, in my
You're
final
right. You're right.
statement.
No, go ahead, bro. That's my
Okay,
bad. Freedom of speech. Freedom of
I'm
speech.
yeah, but yeah, I'm talking to my brothers and sisters here. What I'm saying, this is a prime example of someone that is functioning out of their depraved nature. The thing is, Don Dada is hostile towards the God that created him, and the thing is, at the end of the day, this should break our hearts and also give us joy in the sense. The part that breaks my heart is seeing that this image bearer is bold enough to say, um, you know, basically, God doesn't exist, and if uh, putting God's morality on the line and all of these things, that part's sad because that just goes to show the depravity. But also, too, it just gives me so much. I'm thankful that God saved me from because I could be Don Dada. And the thing is, I was born in sin, in nature, just like Don Dada. And I could be doing the same thing right now. It's not that I was smarter than Don Dada or that I knew a better way. It's grace alone in Christ alone that I'm saved and I'm able to hopefully one day see Don Dada saved from the wrath to come. So that's my statement. That's
Who's
my
bringing the
honest
wrath?
huh?
Jonathan, who's bringing the wrath? I'm gonna open up to the whole panel, but who's bringing the
Okay.
wrath?
That's gonna get
Your
into a
God
whole
Yo,
bringing the
nother
wrath?
thing. That's gonna get into a whole
yo,
nother
yeah.
thing. So, all right,
Yeah, that's
so,
crazy. All right, go ahead,
so
guys.
okay.
Chat's open. You're saying it, dude. That's I don't want to be part of your God's wrath, but that's fine. Everybody, chat's open,
You're
boys.
if you
I
don't
just
repent and
I have a
believe, you will
question.
be.
So
I
what's
don't
the
think your
debate?
God's real, so I won't be. But that's respect. That's
Yo,
it's fine.
hello. I got a
Okay.
question real quick.
For who?
For you, Jonathan.
Okay.
So I noticed that you guys were talking, like I joined on the latter half. I noticed you
Yeah.
guys were talking about mainly the Old Testament, right? Where you have Yahweh commanding the destruction of the Amalekites or whatever. But I actually have another question relating to suffering. I don't know if you guys got into this already. But if we just throw away, like, maybe let's say the Old Testament, right? We
Mm-hmm.
see God allowing suffering, and when I say suffering, I mean menial suffering, suffering that doesn't get anywhere. And I'm just wondering why an all-loving God will allow suffering that doesn't need to happen if He's all-loving.
Well, I'm sorry. What do you mean by suffering that doesn't get anywhere? Could you explain that?
Okay, so like you could have suffering, right? You can let's say you go through something, but it brings you to a better place. All suffering isn't like that, you know what I mean? Like let's say like a kid gets cancer and the kid dies from cancer. That's it. The kid doesn't gain anything from that.
How do you know that?
Well, how is it? What do you? Okay.
No, I'm not trying to be
Because
mean, but how do you know that? How do you know he doesn't gain anything?
Yeah, I agree with that.
well, what I mean is like, oh, you got me here.
No, and here's the
I
thing. You
don't.
know what?
Well,
And
I
wait, and
don't
right
know
here.
that. That's
Wait,
the
wait,
thing.
wait, real quick,
Okay, I
Mac.
don't.
Wait, please, stop. Hold on, Mac. Here's the thing. What I want you to do, just listen. Hear me out, Mac. I want you. Don't answer right
Well,
now.
let,
Wait. Don't
hold up,
answer.
hold up,
I
hold up,
want you
hold
to
up.
think on this. I want you to think on it.
I
I don't want
don't
you to
know
give.
that it will happen, but given the proof
Just
that I
think on
have
it.
here, I would say it's unlikely. I would say it's
Just
unlikely that something does happen.
because I don't want to put you on the spot. Because that's the thing. Because you will give an answer, but I don't. I want you to think about that. Because I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just want you to think. My thing. You think so. You can go to another question, but put that one on the shelf. Because that's all. That's all I'm asking. I'm begging you, please just
So
think about
what
that
is it? So
question.
Jonathan, what is it? What is the benefit out of that?
You said what?
Well, I would think the benefit you would get out of that is God's gonna reimburse you for that suffering. But what I'm saying is,
Not
given the evidence
necessarily.
that we have, I don't think that would happen.
So it's flat. It falls short if he's not necessarily if he's not going to reimburse you, like Mac is saying.
No,
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
no, what I'm saying is God is not in he's not in obligation to reimburse anyone. That's what I'm saying. It's all grace.
Wait,
It
wait,
is a
wait, wait, wait.
it is
So
a
you're saying that he
sorry.
that he wouldn't reimburse an innocent child for menial suffering on earth?
In what sense do you mean innocent? Because we hold different views. So could you explain innocent?
Okay, so I know in Christianity there's an age of accountability, right? Where
No.
you say,
I reject that.
okay, so what sect of Christianity are you in?
So I am a I know here come the now I know the bullets are about to fly right now. I am a Reformed Baptist. So
Okay.
I hold that man is born in sin. So my thing is this in the sense now there is a I do believe in innocence in the sense of let's say someone is just walking down the street and like and then they get mugged. So I'm like, man, that was it. They were innocent of they wasn't part of or there was a riot or something, right? And they got hit with a bottle. All they were doing is just walking down the street and this person got hit with a bottle. In that context, I'm like, oh, this person's innocent. But far as being born in innocence, absolutely not. All men are born sinful in need of
So what you're
saving of
saying,
God.
so do you mean in the sense like let's say like a baby is born like and they're instantly sinful, or do you mean like a baby is born and they have a sinful nature, or do you think they're immediately born a sinner? Like,
It says David said that he was conceived in the womb. He was conceived in sin. He was brought forth in sin. Everybody from after the fall in Genesis 3, all mankind were born in sin. That's what it talks about in Romans, when it talks about Adam, and then it talks about Jesus being the second Adam. So I know I'm getting off into things, but no. So to answer your question, no one is born inherently good. There's no. The only person that came into
But
creation that was inherently good, that didn't have a sin
yeah,
nature, was Jesus.
yeah,
So
I
what I would say to
understand.
that though, I think that's where we would differentiate. I'm a
Yeah.
Protestant, so
you're a what?
I would say I'm a Protestant, so that's where we would be different. I agree with
Well,
Mac. I mean, like
what are you
that.
protesting?
I'm saying that like you're
Because
not. I don't think you're
I'm a
completely.
Protestant too. I'm a
Yeah,
Protestant
yeah,
too.
I don't think you're completely born in sin as a kid because
exactly.
let's say you're born and you die at I don't know 6 months.
Hmm.
Since you had no conception of God, you couldn't put your faith in Christ, and you die as a 6 month old kid. I don't think a just God, a perfect God, would send you to hell because you never put your faith in Him. So I
Can
don't
you
think that would
provide
make sense. I
scripture?
think there's a
Well, here's the thing. It just to me it doesn't make sense
Well,
that
no, wait,
like
hold
let's
on.
say
Wait, we got
a
to wait. I'm
newborn
sorry,
dies. Like it
Victor.
makes
It
sense
doesn't
to me
matter
that
about what we care about. Wait, but Mac, hold on real quick. Victor, can you provide scripture of that?
yes. I'll prescribe scripture if you can prescribe scripture for your point.
Ephesians 2. We can go to Ephesians 2:8.
No, no, you're just saying that you're born in sin. You're not gonna it's not gonna give an age, right?
It doesn't
Holy
matter. That
shit!
mean if you're born in sin, that covers everything.
Okay, but let's talk about the character of God. We both believe in a good, all loving God, right? You're telling me a 6-year-old month boy that dies from a sickness and he had no faith in Christ and he dies and his parents cry and this whole thing. You think is just for the God that we love and he loves us. You think, oh, I'm gonna send him to hell, even though he had no conception of me. He doesn't know what McDonald's is. He doesn't know his own name. I'm gonna send
So
him to hell. You
was
think
he
that logically follows?
was he
that's
born in
basically what I
sin?
was getting at.
Was he born in sin?
Wow, that's crazy.
No,
He has
answer
a
my question.
sinful nature.
Okay,
That's
Holy.
yeah. I could concede that he has a sinful nature, but if
A
a six
sinful
month
nature, but he's not inherently sin. He doesn't even know what
yeah,
sin is.
hold on. So
exactly.
what's
That's what I was getting
You
at.
think?
wait? What's a sinful nature?
You are born with a propensity to sin later
A
on in
human
life.
With the
nature.
flesh, it's the flesh. It's a sin of flesh. It's the root Adam and Eve sin. That's what it is. But
Yeah,
you
it's
think
like the
that babies?
curse. It's
You
the
think
curse
babies
that
go to
we
hell?
have from our lineage, from Adam and Eve.
Holy
But
crap!
but go back to my point.
Why is everyone
Give
so shocked? What's happening
Because
here?
you think an infant goes to hell? You think that's a loving
Yeah.
God?
This is what I was getting at. This
Wait, why do we
I'm
hold
not
Okay,
on?
trying
but
to
Wait,
go
wait,
to
wait.
the
No, wait. I do want to say
but listen,
why
listen,
do,
listen,
why do
listen,
we have a
listen.
problem? Why do we have a problem with infants going to hell and then not grown people going to hell? Shouldn't we care about infants and
Frontal
old
cortex.
people?
well,
Shouldn't we care about
well,
Frontal
here's the
cortex
thing.
anyone?
development.
No, we of course we can, Jonathan. I'm not trying to like go against you. I'm just saying let's just make it make sense. But Mac was
I
telling
agree.
you Mac was basically telling you like, hey, what about if a kid dies before this age? How is this? How does basically the question of suffering? Why,
I see
if
what you're
God's all
saying.
loving, if God's
Exactly.
all this, how
It's
does He
not in
allow this
God's
to
loving
happen?
nature.
What I would say
So
to
I,
Mac, I'm not sure if you're an atheist or Donda. I don't know if you're an atheist, but from
I'm
a
an
biblical
atheist.
perspective, from a Christian perspective, we have hope, right? Like I just said, if that baby dies, we are that. I mean, in my perspective, me and Jonathan, I guess, would go against on that. That baby's going to heaven. That baby has hope. You as
how
an
do you know?
atheist,
How do you know?
dude, I'm not okay.
That's crazy. That's
No.
crazy.
Can you know? How do you
Vince, this is the
know?
problem, Vince. This is the problem. The Christians can't agree with their doctrine, and y'all hold the same Holy Spirit, and that's how I know that. Like, y'all need to figure this out. Like, that's crazy, bro.
Okay,
Here's the thing,
Donda,
though.
Mac, what makes more sense?
Here we go. So what makes more? So
I would I would
is
agree
it
with
what makes more
I would
sense
agree
to
with you,
you or
Victor.
what the text says? Because I'm holding what
Well,
the text
listen, listen,
says.
Give me the
listen.
age.
The I would agree more with you, but what I'm getting at is I'm basically saying I don't feel like it's within the nature of God to allow a child to die through menial suffering in the first place. When God could have created it that children don't need to experience menial suffering in any way.
So your
Like
feelings have
like
more authority than God?
no, okay, so let me put it to you like this, right?
Okay.
So imagine this, right? We understand like let's say this. You go into a situation where you need to be brave, right? It's a
I'm
scary
listening.
situation. It's a scary situation, but you come out of it like with bravery, right? Would you rather have like the scary situation and then gain the bravery, or would you rather not have the scary situation and no bravery at all? This is what I'm saying. Like it's God could have created a world where there is no suffering to begin with, but
But
it
he
seems
didn't.
like he does.
But he didn't. So
Okay, look.
now what?
Well, what I would say to that is he could have, right? But so let's get to the root of it. When God created man,
Oh,
or
here we
He had
go.
His creatures, His man or angels, He created them with the ability to free will, right?
I knew
Why
it.
did
I
He
knew
create
it.
us?
I knew it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Right.
But
Okay. If you
What?
if
you
you're if you're going to use the free will argument, then you
right,
have to.
right.
Then what do you say about animals that don't have free will and still experience the same menial suffering?
No,
Animals
Mac,
don't have
wait.
souls.
Wait,
We
Mac, I
are
can give you
created
a
in.
better argument. Mac, I can
No,
give you a
dude,
better
I'm not even
argument.
finished with the
No,
argument
no, no.
though.
Let Victor finish.
I'm
Let
not even
Victor
finished
finish.
with the argument.
I want to hear the
Cuz
friendly
it
fire. I'm down for whatever, but the friendly fire
cuz
is
it
crazy.
no, cuz it's
Let's keep it respectful.
unbiblical. It's unbiblical. That's
It's not
why.
unbiblical. It's
Yes
not
it
unbiblical,
is.
Jonathan. Bro,
Okay.
no, it's not.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, it's not unbiblical. So when free will came into the world, right? He
When did
gave
it
us
come
free
into the
will.
world?
He when we sinned, Adam and
So
Eve
wait,
in the
so Adam
garden,
and Eve had it. So Adam and Eve, yes, they had a neutral will, correct?
they disobeyed. Yes,
So after Adam and Eve, does man still have a neutral will like Adam and Eve?
free will. I don't know what you're saying neutral, but yeah, we have free will.
That's what
Yeah,
I mean. Okay, let me define. When I say neutral, what I mean like how Adam and Eve, they had the ability to do right or wrong. So after the fall, does man, does you and I, were we born with a neutral will? Were we born with the will able to do what was pleasing to God or displeasing pleasing to God? That's my question.
Well,
yo,
hold up,
let me
hold
get
up,
back to
hold up,
Mac's
hold up.
point. Yes, I believe in free will, but my point is, why do we have free will? Right? The question is, why do we have it? Why did
We don't
God
have
give us
it.
that?
We don't have it.
What
That's
do
what I'm
you?
arguing. We
So you're
Oh
not a
don't.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so wait, Jonathan.
Wait, what? What? You said I'm
Jonathan?
not a what?
You're not a
The
Christian if you don't believe we have free
yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah. Dude, don't Reformed Baptists hold to something like predeterminism instead of free will? Or am I
Define
getting it mixed up?
which form?
Well, I
Plato's
mean
form,
predeterminism,
Aristotle's
like.
form, which, because there's many forms. Which form? That's what I'm asking.
Well, Well, do you believe that your future is predestined by God? Is what I'm asking, or do you think
God.
that you have control over that?
Oh no, God's sovereign. So yeah, God has
Okay,
preordained all
so
things. Yeah,
yeah, so you're a predeterminist then.
and that's why I said, but what sense? In the biblical sense, or in this the worldly system sense? Because I mean, I'm not.
Well, I mean in your biblical sense, of course. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back on track.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got a question for Jonathan.
Hey, who is this?
Exist.
Hi, exist. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm splendid. What's the question?
All right. I just want to say that I respect you for being you, and you've been really respectful towards Don
Mm-hmm.
the whole time.
I
And
try.
and I know no I know how you feel because I was there before, just like that, and I know how it feels to
Mm-hmm.
be somewhat how you feel. Or I don't know how you feel, but kind of have an idea. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
the question I have for you is not to be against you
Okay.
or to really agree with anybody on the panel or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a question for you, from me personally,
Okay.
is going towards the religion thing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you personally, if God was in your presence, would you sin in God's presence?
Oh, if I was, you mean like you mean in the physical sense, like right in front of
So
me?
if God, if you were in God's presence, would you sin? If God was just around you, like His presence was around you,
Okay. Oh, so okay, like in the
like
Holy
God,
Spirit.
God came down from heaven, and now He's on earth, or near you, would you still continue to sin?
Oh, if he was right in front of me, I was my question. I'm sorry. My answer to that would be, no,
Or would
I wouldn't
you
be. Oh wait,
bow
hold on. I'm gonna
down
answer
and
it. I wouldn't be able to because that means if God that means if I'm still alive that means then when I'm in heaven and then that means that I'm in my glorified state and I'm not able to sin anymore. So
no, no,
no,
no. I'm saying like
but
if
that's what
God
that would
came
mean.
down to earth. No, no, no. Like if God came down to earth to be here on earth, not in heaven, here on earth, and you were in God's presence, would you still sin?
No, and I hear what you said. What I'm saying, I wouldn't be able to for the simple fact because one, if he came right before me right now, man is not a physical man is not in this state right now is not able to stand before God and still see him and live. So if God was to come down, I would be dead. And the only way I
Say,
could be in the presence of God, it would be basically it would be the end, and I would be in my glorified state. And yes, I wouldn't be able to sin there
so
because no one can sin there.
so
So that
say
that's
say if you didn't say if you didn't die and you're in the presence of God, would you still sin
It's
with your
not
free will?
possible. It's not. I don't believe in free
Why?
will. And it's not possible. It's not possible
Why?
because the word. Oh, I'll answer because the word of God says no man can see God physically and live. That's why He turned His back to Moses, and Moses' face still shone. So no, I wouldn't be able physically. I would not be able to. So to answer.
If you right, but if you were able to live in front of God on earth and still make choices, would you choose to sin or no?
I hear what you're saying. You're trying to, and I don't mean to be rude with this, but I've answered the question. You're trying to get an answer. I mean that I can't biblically I can't provide because I'm going off of scripture. Scripture wise, I would not be humanly. It's not humanly possible. That's what I'm saying exists. Like I couldn't do it. So
Answer the
that
question.
It's a thought experiment, Jonathan. He's not asking you for literal. If it's literal, he's
Right.
using a thought experiment to understand the actual thing, right? So
no no
it
and
doesn't have to
I
be literal. It doesn't have to actually exist. A thought experiment or analogy doesn't have to be rooted in reality for it to demonstrate something that isn't within reality, right?
Yeah,
I
like
see
would you
I see
personally
what you're
still
saying.
choose to sin if God was in your presence? Like would you say, "Oh, I know God's right in front of me, but I'm still going to go steal this or commit sin." What would you do
Of course not.
if
Oh, but
you
well,
wouldn't, right?
I would say by God's grace, I wouldn't. By God's grace, I wouldn't.
Okay. Right, you
By
wouldn't
God's,
because you know what that's God, right?
sorry, say it again.
You wouldn't because you know that is God you're in the presence of God, right?
Well, I try to live like that now, but I hear I understand what you're
No, I mean like
saying.
I'm trying to get like a yes or no. I'm not trying to go
Yeah,
too
bro.
crazy. Like
Yes or no? Yes or no?
all of us wouldn't. If God was in our presence, we all wouldn't
Yeah.
sin, right? Because we know
No,
it's
you
God.
got no. But here's the thing. Yes, God, you live in God's world and you still sin. You know why you guys sin?
Oh,
Unrepentant.
but we
Wait, no, hold on, no. Let
that's
me.
not what I'm
I
saying.
no, but you are. Hold on. You don't understand what I'm saying. My thing is this: you live in God's
And
world,
so do you. So do
and you.
you. So do you.
I repent of my sins. You guys don't.
Well, okay.
No, all I'm saying, no, I'm
But we're
saying
not perfect.
if you were in the presence
I'm
of
not.
God on earth,
Well,
if
not you,
God came
Victor. I'm
down,
sorry. Sorry.
if God came
Okay.
down and was in front of you, you would have no choice but to praise God and bow, right? You wouldn't continue to sin because you're in the presence of God,
But that
right?
only
Right?
that's why I was saying that only. But that only happens in our glorified body. That's when we would not be able to sin. You can't sin in heaven, in the new
No,
heaven, new earth. That's what I'm saying.
no,
So you're.
no.
Here's the thing. Fundamentally,
Okay. So wait.
the
So
question
So
does
what
exist,
you're
not
saying
biblically
exist. What
make
are you
is,
getting at?
sense.
What are you getting at, though?
You don't want to answer the question.
No, it's
if
not.
if
I'm asking the question biblically. That's what I'm. That's how I'm answering the question.
if God was physically in front of you right now, you would sin in front of him.
If he was in his full
Okay.
glory, we couldn't even comprehend him. I mean,
That,
it depends
right,
on what do
Victor,
you
help
mean,
me out
like.
here. Yeah, Victor, help me
Yeah,
out
yeah.
here,
If
because
we saw God in His full glory, I mean, nothing else would like matter. Like He is existence. He is pure love,
Yeah,
pure
as a hardcore
bliss.
agnostic atheist, if Jesus Christ was right in front of me, I'd get on my knees, sir.
Okay, there you go. That answered the question. Nobody would want to because they know it's God in front of them, right? That is a
Devon.
simple answer is yes. I know everybody would. You can't deny that you wouldn't. And I'm
But
not
what's your
talking about
following question?
wait.
What are you getting
I am
to?
not talking about being in your glorified body. And I know biblically you wouldn't be able to handle being in
Oh,
God's presence. But I'm saying normally if God came down right now and all that, you would have no choice but to bow because you know it's God.
Okay, so
So
what's
the answer is yes.
so what's your aim?
so
I'm
what are you
trying to.
getting at?
So yeah, where do you get it? I just want to. Yeah, where you getting at?
So what I'm getting at
Mm-hmm.
is if we know that we wouldn't sin, even with our sinful nature and we're not perfect, we would
Yeah.
still bow and praise God right there in the moment, right? Okay.
No.
Now,
Whoa. Why would you?
because it's God in
It's
the
God in the
presence,
flesh, bro.
So why
right?
aren't you doing it?
Wait,
Wait.
ask
Why,
the
so why
question.
aren't you?
Ask the
Wait.
question.
Wait.
I want
Why?
to hear the
Why?
question.
Why aren't you doing it now then?
Because God is not physically here.
Don't you live in God's
Right.
world?
So
God's omnipresent. He's
Exist,
everywhere.
No,
exist. Ask
exist.
the
God,
no, I don't.
question.
God's everywhere. So
Exist.
worship. So repent and worship Him now.
No, he hasn't demonstrated himself to exist.
Hey,
See.
exist.
I
You
asked you to
do.
prove him exists, and we didn't do that, right? So as of now, he still doesn't exist. Go ahead, though.
There's at least four arguments for the existence of God, and that's something that I was trying to get
Hold
in
on, I didn't
the.
even get to my point. Like,
Okay, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm
okay,
sorry.
I'm trying to be quick because I gotta go soon. But we
Mm-hmm.
all know we would all, religious belief or non-believer, we would all fall to our knees because God's in front of us, right? People that believe Jesus said he was who he was, they all followed and they all like bowed or whatever they believed, right? Now, if Adam
Wait.
and
What was
Eve
it?
now,
I'm sorry. What was that
if
other part? You said
since
all. You said all of what? I'm sorry.
so people that believed Jesus when he said, I am the Son of God and whatever, people believed and followed, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I will say this though, there is a issue though with your thesis because it says that, but just because that a person believe or know of God doesn't mean they're going to worship Him. It says the demons
That's
know and
not where I'm
believe.
No, no, no.
going.
Get to his.
But what I'm
Let
saying,
him
they
get to his
st-
question. Let him
That's
get
not
to his
where I'm
okay,
going
question.
with it. That's not where I'm
okay.
going with it.
I
All I
apologize.
wanted, I asked you the very first question to prove a point, to keep it simple because I got to go soon.
Okay.
With Adam and Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Biblically,
Mm-hmm.
Adam was created by God, and Eve was created by Adam's rib,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So they had
No.
they had all that time with God in the garden, and then since since they had that time with God, God had to had tell them, "I am the only one. I am the only God that exists. There cannot be another." Why wouldn't God say that to them? He said that to Moses, right? To the burning bush. I am all that I am.
We
So
don't
knowing
wait.
that,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
hold on,
It's a
knowing
lot of
that,
assumptions here. It's a
why
lot of
and they were
assumptions.
in the presence of the God, knowing that Eve, why would Eve say that she was deceived, or how could she get deceived if she already knew who the God was, direct communication in the presence of God, listen to a serpent or a rat or a mouse saying, hey, it's okay to eat the fruit. I don't find that, I would never believe that story.
Okay,
Well,
I got
here's
an
the
answer.
thing. There was a bunch of assumptions there. You assumed a lot, and then you came up with your end result off of your assumptions. What the text says is they were told these commandments to do and don't. They rebelled. Your assumptions is not
Because
valid.
sin doesn't exist until after she ate the fruit.
Right, man fell. But here's the thing. You have all these assumptions. We don't know how long they were in the garden. They could have been there in their 10 seconds. We don't know.
No,
You're
but like,
assuming
okay, but the
you
No, as
literal
far as
verse.
sin, to disobey means to sin. How could she
So
disobey if sin didn't exist until after she ate the fruit?
exists.
Yeah,
Are you
that's a
saying?
good
Are you
point.
saying that even though they saw him in his full glory, they still decided to sin? So how could that be?
Yeah.
Well, I think what he's saying is before Eve eats the fruit, there is no sin.
Right.
So what he's saying is when Eve is like eating the fruit, there is no sin. So what I think you're saying is when Eve is eating the fruit, she is not sinning.
No. So how can Eve choose to disobey out of her free will? Even if she had free will, she already knew that God was the God because of that direct communication and the presence of the actual God.
Okay, can I answer? All right. So the exact verse, Genesis in 3:8, after they committed the sin, it says, "And they heard the sound of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden." Right. So they weren't in the full presence of God.
Yeah, they were.
Well, how can they be hidden from Him?
You can't hide from God.
Then why does okay? So then you go in. It says him and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the
You
garden.
can't, no matter where you hide, you cannot hide
Yeah,
from the
you can't
presence
hide
of
from
God.
God. If he's all knowing, you can never hide from him. Because he would know where you would be.
No. But you're saying no. But no. The question you're framing the question that
Look,
they're
they
they're
were
in
in
His
the
full
presence.
presence.
They were in the presence of God before she ate the fruit. So why would she eat the fruit if they're in the presence of God?
Okay, look, listen. It
How can
sounds
she be deceived?
you're not letting me answer.
No,
Hey,
because your answers are not right, bro.
so
Let me
so
talk. Let me talk. Can I just say? Can I just talk?
Yeah, let the
You
man
know it doesn't make
talk.
sense.
Let the man
Just let me
talk.
say. Just let me talk. So when
Go
God
ahead,
created
Victor.
us, right? He gave us. I'm gonna go back to the free will thing, and I know it's like, oh, free will. Here we go again. But
I'll
the
be
only reason we
quiet.
have free will is because God created us for a loving relationship. How does love exist? The only way love can exist is if you choose to love Him, right? Hence, why
Oh,
you have free will.
Victor.
If you didn't have
Look,
free, Jonathan, hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm
If
sorry.
you
Mute
did,
me. Mute
hold
me.
on, just hold on. If you did not have free will to choose Him, then love could not exist, right? You couldn't. Love, by definition, you have to choose. You have to choose to love somebody. You can't force somebody to love them. That's if not, we would have just been like robots. So
Victor.
He gave you that. He gave, dude. Hold on, dude. Why are you against me, bro?
No,
Bro,
because
he told you
Victor,
to
you
go
met.
ahead.
I'm
And
the
sorry,
bottom line is this.
Victor.
and then
Hold on.
Jonathan,
Hold
what?
on. The
on his
bottom
nuts
line
so
is
much.
this.
it's
The bottom
pandemonium.
line. The
I
bottom
thought I
line
was
is
gonna be
this.
against Donda and X. I'm
I'm
over here against
sorry, Victor.
Jonathan.
I
What's
Hold
crazy?
on.
apologize.
Hold
This is
on.
crazy.
The
Bro said
bottom
go ahead.
line.
And then you
This
tried
is
to speak and he
crazy.
was
The
mad.
bottom
He was
line
like,
is
no.
this. The bottom line is
What's
Eve
the bottom
wouldn't,
line?
even with her free will, she wouldn't because she was in the presence of the God.
How can
Can
they
I
hide
interject?
themselves?
Can I interject? Because
How could they?
I've
Of
not said
course.
anything this whole time.
Yes.
Of
So
course.
I think it's I don't know it Extus. I'm sorry. I can't understand your name. But what we're missing, I think what's being glanced over is in the text in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
God said he told them they could eat all they wanted to of the tree of life.
Mm-hmm.
So and then not to touch, not to eat. I'm sorry, not to touch. That was what Eve said, but
Yeah.
he
Go
said
ahead,
not to
sis.
eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Wait, I have
Right.
an objection. I have an objection.
Wait,
I have an
wait. Let
So
objection.
sis
if
Let her
finish.
finish. Let him finish. Let him finish.
so if you number one, I think a lot of people misunderstand when you're talking about the tree of life. You think, oh, it's a tree in the garden, but it's the tree of life. That people, it's life, right? And then the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So you said before, how could Eve sin if she was in the presence of God? God created the garden on earth so God's presence can go in and out of that garden. His presence wasn't he put them in the garden to tend it. Why would he need to put them in the garden to tend something he's in all the time? And so therefore, if he tells them not to eat from that tree, he's not there all the time. He comes in the cool of the day.
You're missing something.
Can I finish?
Well,
Now,
you're
if
missing
he
something.
tells them they can eat all they want to of the tree of life, not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they would not have sinned until they ate from the tree of knowledge and good and evil,
Yes.
because they ate from a tree that then gave them the awareness, the consciousness of what good and evil was. They did not know good and evil before that moment. So, and here's an argument that can be made. They might have done things that were not correct, but their consciousness did not know it before they ate from that tree.
You're missing
They
something.
might have made mistakes,
This is
but
where
they
I
didn't
thought you
have
were
the
going.
mental consciousness, which goes back to what Victor was saying about babies. Sin is about awareness, and yes, you're born with a sin conscience.
Missing
You're born
something.
with a sin
Can I
conscience.
respond to the first part real quick, and then I don't mean to jump in because y'all are both talking. I just want to say the first part. There's a Bible verse that says the eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. There's another Bible verse that says, "Where shall I go from your spirit, and where shall I flee from your presence?
That's in
If I
Psalms.
ascend,
I'm aware
let
of
me
that
finish.
scripture.
Right,
David
yeah.
wrote that,
Where shall I
yes.
flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there.
You-
If I
if
make my
I-
bed in Sheol, you
your
are there.
awareness
If
of
I
God
take my
is
wings
never
in the morning,
gone.
can I just finish? If I
Sure,
take my
go
wings
right
in the
ahead.
morning and dwell in the utmost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely in the darkness shall cover me, and the light shall be my night.
And this
It
is
says
where
that
I
God
agree
is
with
everywhere.
Jonathan. I'm going to agree with Jonathan here, because now when you're a baby, no, you are not aware. And now I'm not going to argue that point.
Wait,
But
somebody actually
when
agreed with me.
Jonathan
Wow.
said,
Wait, hold on.
no, that's not the point I agree with, Jonathan. What
You're
I
still missing
agree
something.
with,
Seems like
Oh,
this
dang.
seems like what I was getting at with like
what I agree with Jonathan is that here's the thing: you can deny God, you can deny him, but the proof of his existence is all around you. Whether you choose to acknowledge that or not is on you when you are consciously aware enough to make that decision.
Bro,
okay.
you're missing something.
So hold up. Let me say this. So with Eve, before she eats the fruit of knowledge and good and evil, has no knowledge of good and evil. It seems like God is uselessly punishing Adam and Eve because they had no idea. They didn't know. So again, like this doesn't seem in line.
But
with the
that's
nature of
because
God.
obedience does not require
Hold on, let me say
obedience
something.
does not require that you obedience doesn't require that you know everything. Obedience is
No,
trust.
you're missing something.
Yeah.
Obedience is trust.
The point is this: regardless if God was there and they were in the presence of God or not, if God was 10 miles away, the point is whether they knew good or not. The point is God commanded a perfect human like Eve to not do it. Regardless if they knew good or
Think
evil.
about
Yeah,
your
yeah,
parents,
I
though.
do
you not
Did
understand
your
free
parents
will?
ever tell
I see what
you?
you're saying exists.
Even
Did
with
your
her
parents
free
ever
will,
tell you not
even
to
with
do
her
something
free
and you
will.
did it and you learned?
Jonathan.
But
I'm
Miss, you're
sorry.
wrong
I'm
about
sorry. I'm
God.
sorry.
You realize you're
I'm gonna
wrong
turn
about
it
God's
off.
nature, right? About him
Yo.
not being in the garden and
Jonathan,
not
we
knowing
gotta-
what they're gonna do.
Wait.
This is what I'm going to say.
The Bible
We
And
gotta
says
talk
he's
and
there.
I'm done after
another
this.
time.
The example
Okay.
I'm going to give about
I don't know who
Eve
that was, but
is
okay.
that Eve,
Victor.
it's just like this. You said
Love
that
you, bro.
if God was completely out of the presence, you got to think about it. Did your parents ever give you a directive and then they left and you either chose
It
to
doesn't
obey
matter that
Well,
God
I
never
directive or
left.
not?
Yeah, wait.
What
Hold on,
exists is
sis.
saying-
We can't compare
Yes,
God
God
and our
never
parents,
left.
sis. Hold on,
Exist is
sis.
saying that
I'm not trying to compare God and our parents. What I'm saying is obedience is obedience. Whether
Exist
you obey
is saying God
or you
created
obey
two
yourself
perfect
or you
beings.
obey your parents. And you can't obey yourself.
God
But if
never
you
left, Miss.
obedience is obedience. God
Guys,
tells us
guys,
to
guys.
obey our parents.
Can we make
He
can we
tells
make
us
the
to
debate?
obey our parents.
Can we make the
Yeah.
argument clear? What's the argument?
Yeah,
The
people
point-
don't.
The
People that's just
argument-
coming in. They don't know what's happening.
Hold on. The point I
Host.
was making is this, right?
Donda.
The point I was making is this, and I'll try to be clear as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Us as humans, after Eve ate their fruit, now we have sinful nature. That's our core nature, is to be as sinners, right? So if we disobey our parents, that's different. Even
Yeah.
Adam was two perfect. Adam and Eve was two perfect beings. with no sinful nature. Sin didn't happen until after she ate the fruit, according to the story. That's how we got sin.
Well,
But
I would
before
say
she ate the fruit,
they
there
weren't
was no
perfect
sin.
though. They weren't perfect.
But
Is
you
that
can also
biblically
you can even
speaking?
go up the line a little bit more. Someone who saw
They
God in
weren't
his full
perfect.
glory, someone that saw God in his full glory and still decided to sin was Satan, was Lucifer. Right? So you can just bring it up and be like, oh, that's why he has eternal punishment. That's why he can never be saved, because he sinned against him eternally. He saw him in his full glory. So you can just go up a little bit even more. And it's,
No,
you know,
but yeah, I do see. But
you're
yeah, I
like
would say
asking
yeah,
why
Yeah, but
they
I'm
were
not.
not
I'm
made
not.
perfect, because if they were made perfect, they wouldn't have sinned. Jesus was perfect; he didn't sin.
So
So
Exactly.
there was
God
a
didn't make them
difference.
Exactly.
perfect.
He said
So
it was good. He said and it was very good. He didn't say and it was perfect.
Okay, so
So
all
we got
good
to be
God,
correct here.
order, right? So order made disorder.
You said what?
He didn't make.
Order created disorder.
Oh, Donnie,
Perfection
here you go
created less
again.
than
Here you
perfection.
go again.
Okay,
Come on, bro. That's easy
Jonathan.
contradiction. That's easy.
The point is,
Jonathan.
Adam and Eve was much closer to perfect than we ever will be. They didn't have a sinful nature like we do. So when God commanded them, they had direct line with God, whether God was 10 miles away or 10 feet in front of them.
Okay, I'm
So
listening.
why would Eve eat the fruit? She wouldn't have done it.
He chose to. She
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
deceived, just like
I
we
see
are
what
every
you're
day.
saying.
She was not deceived. It's the story has errors.
I
Huh?
see
So
what
you're
you're saying.
claiming you're claiming the story from the Bible, but you're also saying it's flawed. So
It
just
is.
Right.
pick and choose.
I agree with
What are
you,
you talking
Victor.
about?
Victor,
Wait.
there we go.
Okay, hold up. Jonathan, this is kind of off topic, but I wanted
What's up?
I've been mean. I want to stay on topic about like God allowing suffering, right?
Oh yeah.
So
What's up?
yeah, okay. So you said broadly you're a predeterminist in the biblical sense, correct?
Everything is ordained, yes, from eternity past.
Okay. So with that being said, would you agree that God predestines the people who are going to hell and who are going to be saved?
Absolutely. There's an elect. There's children of Adam and there's children in Christ. Yes, there's reprobates and there's yeah.
So with that being said, do you think your all-loving God will send people? Do you think your all-loving God sending people to hell is all-loving? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
That's crazy. That is
Why is it crazy? Okay, now tell me why it's crazy. Biblically.
Because
Not your opinion.
Look,
biblically.
I'm an agnostic atheist. I do not hold to your scripture.
Wait, you can't be both, Mac. Pick one. You can't be agnostic. You can't believe there is a God and then say there isn't one. You gotta pick one.
No. I'm an agnostic atheist. I made it clear. Agnostic atheist believes in the possibility of a God, and it doesn't have to be the Christian God.
Agnostic
Gotcha,
just means lack of knowledge.
Okay, you're just a different. So
ate the fruit.
you're in a different form of rebellion. Got it. Okay.
That's crazy. That's why Christianity is a cult. Because everyone is rebellious and evil.
No, Mac.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
go
want to
ahead,
know?
I'm sorry.
Hey, you want to know why I say? Hold on. But I must say this because I have allowed some bullets to be thrown at me. But I do got church in the morning, guys. Lord willing, I got church in the morning, and I wanted to be fair because I knew the moment I started talking this, I knew there was going to be shots, and I wanted the people to get their. I'm sorry. You know what?
It wasn't
That was
shots, it
rude.
was
There
just
was
facts.
I'm taking it back. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was rude. I apologize. Because when I said that, I'm like, that was rude. That was childish. So I apologize. It wasn't shots. It was questions. So I please forgive me on that. I wanted people to be able to ask their questions. So with that said, the reason why I say that that God is just and saving some and leaving others in their reprobate state is because
Right, but he preordains it. He makes
But
it
he doesn't-
happen. So he's
do you understand
ahead.
compatibilism? I'm sorry to cut you, but do you understand compatibilism?
I do not. Explain it to me if you want.
Okay.
If you want.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. So compatibilism is is this that it is it in the biblical sense it is I'm not saying that I know it all. Like this isn't something I struggle with, but I do think about it daily because it is complex in the sense that things are ordained. Like they are ordained because God, I'm not an open theist. God is not fumbling around trying to figure out what's going to happen. Or he's not waiting on, I'm sorry, Victor, no shots, but he's not waiting on man's free choices, their free will, and then react to them. No. But however, God did not force Adam and Eve. He did not force Pontius Pilate. He did not force Herod. He did not force Saul, who was turned into Paul, to do the things he did. You don't want to know why? Here's the thing. This is compatibilism. Compatibilism is this in Genesis 50. You can read it sometime. It's a really good text, but where it says that Joseph understood this. Now, I'm just going to paraphrase, but their brothers sold Joseph into slavery. They wanted to kill him, but it was one of the brothers that said, "No, don't do that. Let's sell him. Let's sell him." There just happened to be I wasn't a chariot, but basically this happened to be people that was going to take him into slavery. Okay, they wanted to kill him. Fast forward, at the end of everything, once Joseph stood before his brothers, you know what he said? He didn't say, God forced y'all to do this. No, what he said was, he said, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. Those were, and Victor gonna love this, those were free will acts. However, what I mean by free will is, man, apart from regeneration, because man has a will, but they do everything that's displeasing to God. So man has the intention of evil, but it's not like God would be forcing this. This where I would agree if God was forcing. And let me show you where he's not. It's not like God is from heaven and there's unrepentant people that said, God, I want to be with you. I want to be in heaven. It's not like you guys, you atheists, are saying, you know what? I want to believe in the God of the Bible. I want him. But then God is pushing you, said, no, I don't want you. No, you all, Dandada, Exist, Mac, you all are making the constant choice to suppress the truth in unrighteousness.
No, we're suppressing the brainwash.
No, you're suppressing the truth in unrighteousness.
We're suppressing the
That's what you're
manipulation.
doing. That's what you're doing.
It's
And so
all manipulation.
my plea to you is, because I do got to get going, but my plea to you is to repent and believe. Because here's the thing, your
Believe in
will.
manipulation? No way.
There's no, you can say what you want, but at the end of the day, you, Dandada,
At the end of the
Exist,
day,
and
it's our
Mac,
belief system.
you are going to stand before a holy thrice God,
That's
and you're
your
going to
belief,
have,
not ours.
you're going to have to give an account. And you know
That's
what?
your belief, not ours.
You're going to,
Existence.
you know,
belief.
you're going to give an account. You are.
No, that's
You're
your
going to give
belief,
an
not
account.
ours.
I don't
Okay,
believe so,
what do you,
brother.
how do you think the universe began?
We don't
I
have
love
to
you
know.
guys.
I don't have to give. I don't have to.
Wait,
know.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
say,
saying you have to
wait,
know.
Dandada. I just want to say,
Your
Dandada, thank you
belief,
so
not
much.
ours.
Thank you so much for having me. Exist, Mac. Love you guys. Victor, I'm sorry for the free will
You
thing. I
don't
do
love us.
apologize. I do love you guys.
It's all
I do
good,
love
bro.
you
It's all
guys.
good, bro. I followed you.
You have a
We'll talk
wonderful
later.
night,
Like,
bro.
Okay,
Appreciate you
let's
coming
talk.
on, Jonathan, bro.
I'm sorry, sis. Miss something, sis. Have a blessed night. Love you guys. Let's talk again sometime. But
Peace,
chat.
bro.
Have
Yeah,
a
you're always welcome, bro.
yeah. Thank
Have
you.
a
Thank
blessed
you.
night.
You
See you,
too.
bro.
All
See
right.
ya.
Love you
Peace,
guys.
brother.
All right.
Have a good
All
night.
right. Okay, you have made it to the end of the video. I'm proud of you. It was a long one. However, I think it was very edifying for the believer to watch this, see this interaction with someone that lives in God's world but is suppressing the truth in unrighteousness. So, thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching the videos, commenting, everything. So, Sole Deo Gloria, to God be the glory alone. Have a good one, guys.